Welcome, everybody, to the Journeymen Lounge podcast.
You better be praying to God because, you're 14 and losses in a row. You're going to need Jesus.
Am I wrong?
I thought you were pretty wrong, yeah. And welcome back to the Journeymen Lounge podcast. We are sponsored by Coca-Cola here, as you can see.
Right.
Actually, they can't see. They only see the blanket. But
right, no.
If you could see the entire view of it, you would know what I'm saying. And we're surrounded by Coca-Cola products and memorabilia. It's pretty sick. Thank you, Bobby, again for having us.
Oh, absolutely.
Here.
My mom loves having everyone by. So
we are now moved on to the movie review portion of our pod.
Mm-hmm.
And this one...
Jam. Just an absolute...
Yeah, this is an all-timer. Personally, for me, is my third favorite movie. And at one time was my favorite for a long time. It's so great. Like, if you're wanting, like, what's a good thriller? What's the best thriller? You can't go without saying, I feel like The Fugitive. It's just, like, so good. The cast, the writing, the pacing, everything. I love the time the movie takes place in the early 90s, and it's in Chicago, and it's just, like...
It's incredible. It's great movie.
Like, most people are like, Harrison Ford, he's Han Solo, and he's Indian, which he is, but to me, he's also Richard Kimball. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a big thing for me. So, as I said, the movie's The Fugitive. It's from 1993. American action thriller film directed by Andrew Davis, a Chicago native.
Maybe that's why he's repping it hard,
yeah, for sure, because he does that in other. Now, this is loosely based on the 1960s TV series.
Okay.
And which is inspired by the real life trial of Sam Shepard. So, it stars Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, Celia Ward, Joe Pantoliano, Andres Katsoulas, Jerome Crabb, Julianne Moore, Joey Pants. Did I say his name already?
Pantoliano.
A couple other guys. Anyway, it was released August 6, 93 in the United States. Budget of $44 million, made $368.9 million, so quite successful. And
easy now.
It says it was the third highest grossing film of 1993 period, only trailed Jurassic Park and Schindler's List. So pretty big company.
And I don't think they lost by much either.
Yeah, and a movie like this, like an action thriller, doesn't usually get Oscar buzz, but it did, and it got Tommy Lee Jones the Best Supporting Actor award, which is, for a movie like this, is kind of rare. Like, usually it's like, we talked about before, like Begonia or some weird, or like Manchester by the Sea. It's not usually the popular pick. Is the crowd pleaser is not the one that's going to win the awards,
which I don't like. They try to go against the grain. Guess what? The grain's fine too. People always think, outside the box. Box is good.
Tommy Lee Jones won for Best Supporting Actor. It was nominated for 7 Academy Awards total, including Best Picture, which it did not win.
That's okay.
But being nominated is pretty impressive.
That's a huge.
And I think I would say.
I'm sorry, just on that part of it. You're not thinking that was a little bit of star power with
a little bit, sure.
Like why it got nominated? You think? Well, you got Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones,
but Tommy Lee Jones wasn't Tommy Lee Jones till this movie. Like he was
in stuff.
He was like in JFK and the year before Under Siege, where I think he was getting noticed. But this like blew the door off the hinges, so to speak. Where it's like now Tommy Lee Jones is a mainstay, and now he has a career.
Yes,
and especially going forward in the early to mid 90s, where it's like he's in Batman Forever, he's in The Client, he's in this, he's in that, and it's so popular and so good they made a sequel called U.S. Marshals without Harrison Ford.
Mm-hmm. So, I did not know that. Okay,
you never seen U.S. Marshals?
Yeah,
no, I haven't.
Oh, it's fucking awesome. Yeah.
What year did that come out?
98. Sawesley Snipes is in it as the main.
I like Wesley Snipes. So
and Robert Downey Jr. is also in it.
Okay, I'll check it out.
I said great movie, all timer. Takes place in the city of Chicago. Obviously, if I had to give a brief synopsis, I'll just go with the IMDb, which is pretty straight.
They did a good job.
Straight to the point. Dr. Richard Kimball, unjustly accused of murdering his wife, must find the real killer while being the target of a nationwide manhunt led by a seasoned U.S. Marshal.
Perfect.
That's pretty much it right there. It's like, as far as like a basic.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously you can go more into detail, but would you want me to go more in detail?
I would like you to mention
the one arm man, or when you.
I would like you to mention the backstory because we're gonna get through it to it in scenes, and even I think we might have a table read there.
Sure.
But I'd like you to get into why he was.
What happened, like the whole thing that sets the movie up kind of thing?
No, like the backstory of it. Because, I mean, again, spoilers.
Yeah.
He's accused of murdering his wife, but he's out to set that he didn't do it. He's always said, I'm an innocent man.
Well, I'll just say the movie starts off. Richard Kimball's at a fundraiser for a pharmaceutical company called Devil McGregor. And he is a vascular surgeon. So that's like pretty high up, like, real
expertise,
rich doctor. Like,
I believe he's a neurosurgeon.
He's a vascular surgeon.
I'm sorry, you are correct.
vascular. But
and his wife is also an elite,
part of an elite,
well-off,
family.
And I don't know what she does exactly, but anyway,
prominent family.
They're at this fundraiser thing, and they're talking to different people, and then she's like, they leave the event, and he gets a page on his car phone. They need him for surgery.
Need him in OR,
Alex Lentz, doctor, they tried paging him, didn't come in, so now they need him to come in. He does that, drops her off while he's doing the surgery. She's at home preparing a romantic evening for him, flower petals, wine, drinks, blah, blah, blah. And unbeknownst to her, there's an intruder in the house, a one-armed intruder who savagely beats her to death, basically, and shoots her. He with like a big, like a marble stone thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's like
almost like a magic 8-ball.
It looked like kind of like if it'd be like a snow globe, but if it was like concrete.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a decorative piece or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
But she expires and gets shot by him, she makes a 911 call, and the call seems to implicate Richard,
right? Because
she's calling off for help, and then she says, "A man killed me. He's in the house." Richard
shows up,
and then he shows up, and he's like, "Oh, he sees the flowers and the things," and he's like, "Oh, this is great." And he starts pouring, wine for the wife.
Yeah, he's getting himself settled in for that night.
We don't see like everything complete. They kind of show in pieces throughout the movie,
right.
But he comes to find her on the ground, like about to be dead, and also the one-armed man, he wrestles with him for a little bit. We see that later, that he found out while wrestling that he had a prosthetic arm from the elbow down.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so she dies within like 5 minutes, but before she died, she scratched his neck. When the cops come to look at the scene, there's no physical evidence of any break-in. There's no the doors intact.
Leave any DNA
the only people with the alarm code are him, his wife, and the cleaning woman. There's no other fingerprints besides him, his wife, and the cleaning woman because the guy wore gloves. Right. So he basically looks like the guy. He killed his wife, and they interrogate him and goes to court, and they we'll get into kind of jump to some things, maybe without investigating fully, but whatever. But anyway.
Sorry, I also want to mention that he goes and grabs his wife and is like, what happened? So he has his blood on him.
He starts to perform CPR.
The physical evidence is damning, even though the motivation maybe is suspect.
His stance is that it was the one-armed man who killed my wife, and I wrestled with him.
And yes,
and
the cops and everyone think it's him. He gets convicted of first-degree murder, I believe, or whatever, and sentenced to life and execution.
Which Illinois, I don't think had.
Or it's at least life. I thought it was execution.
No, yeah, he was going to be injection.
So, yeah, and I don't know if I'm going to go more.
No, that was a good stop.
Let's just do that as that's the synopsis to set it up.
That's the severity of this crime.
I'm going to get into later. I love the backstory of basically why he was set up. Spoiler alert, he was set up.
I also just mentioned really quick, I won't say the details of it, but while he's getting transferred, something happens, and he escapes custody, and he's on the run. And this brings in Samuel Gerard, the seasoned U.S. Marshal, played by Tommy Lee Jones. He has his own crew of guys, like 5-6 people that work with him, and their job is to track down criminals, and they're really good at it. And he's kind of this no-nonsense, doesn't take shit, but they like him, kind of affable guy. But he doesn't take shit, and he always gets his man type of dude where it's this guy's the guy.
He's a delivery boy. He's I'm not a messenger.
He's experienced. He's been through this before. he knows what to do, like checkpoints this far down, you need this, that, and like even
his
if
command is
throughout the movie, many situations were like, oh, he's dead. How could he survive this? And he's like, I don't care.
find me that corpse then, yeah.
Give me the corpse. Give me the fish that ate him. Whatever you got to do. Like, until I have him in cuffs or a body bag, he's not found.
Yeah, it's open.
So,
Big dog isn't.
So the whole movie is Richard trying to prove his innocence while trying to avoid the U.S. Marshals. While being a fugitive. And the other part of it is Samuel Gerard, played by Tommy Lee Jones, and his crew hunting down Richard, but also along the way, reopening the case up and figuring out that things aren't what they seem, and that maybe Richard could be innocent,
truth,
and elements of the things that the Chicago police missed, and they kind of, and they through talking to all Richard's doctors and colleagues and friends, that they all respect him and couldn't believe he would ever do this, and like they even say like, oh well, if he asked me for help, I would help him.
Right, a lot of people stepping up for him.
They don't bat an eye.
You got to point out that the two detectives that are prosecuting him and getting him just are like closed book
tunnel vision,
shut and close. What is it called?
Open and close, open and shut.
Open and shut case.
Yeah,
you did it. You murdered her. Game over.
And they even have a line later on where Tommy Lee is talking to them. He's like, "Why would he kill his wife?" It's like, he did it for the money, but he was a surgeon. He already has a lot of money. Well, she had more money, so it's like
I didn't like that.
Well, that's what they're showing, like how they're kind of inept.
Like who benefits, right?
And he's like looking to a broader well. That's because there's got to be more than the money thing. Like
they had the forensic evidence, so there's like, hey, it's a husband. They would
have the forensic evidence. That's what they went off.
Well, yeah, their thing is kind of like, we got to close cases. We got the evidence. We got the prosecutor.
Right,
they don't care. Like it's like a system. You got to get them through and process.
It makes me think of what is it? The Departed K. Who gives a fuck? Because they have all the forensic evidence.
It doesn't matter. It's not or like Train Day. It's not what you know. It's what you can prove. Exactly right.
Great job.
So
that's a good setup of it. Yep. I would. I'm gonna let you take it off from there. But what's the next then logical?
I want to just talk about our personal experience with the movie.
Yeah.
So why don't you start, Woj? So I would guess. When did you see it? Do you see it often? What? The Fugitive, 93.
93.
Like, how did you come to see it? Just whatever, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. If I probably remember correctly, this was probably one that was probably something I should not have seen when I was a younger lad. But it was probably just around the household, like getting thrown on. Like either through renting movies the first couple years after it, and then I know we had a copy. But the main thing about The Fugitive is that this movie becomes a reoccurring carousel for me for a multitude of reasons. One, Harrison Ford, my guy.
Fantastic.
Obviously great. Tommy Lee Jones, my guy.
Yeah.
But mainly in the fact, though, that this is one of those movies that it kind of checks a lot of boxes. Like, it can be a drama. There is some fun. It's not a comedy, but there's some.
There's good
levity.
Banter with the
good
cop
banter. I
guys.
love that.
There's some levity.
Joey
to
Pants
it.
and Biggs, the other guy.
Yeah.
They have a lot of
little bit of action. Not crazy. Well, I'll talk about that.
I would say it's got good action, but not like it's not a shoot 'em up. But it's got like action set pieces or chases or things.
And I'll talk more about the action piece.
I think there's quite a bit of action
at a later
actually.
date.
It's not bad.
But at a later time. But I'm just saying, it's like something that was on in the home. I kept going back to it just because there's a lot of good pieces of it. But mainly, The Fugitive is just one of these movies that you just know is like, this is an all-timer. Like, it's just known in the zeitgeist. Like, it's a great movie. Now, I say great. I'm not saying, like, this is the best put-together movie of all time.
You can say that. It's okay.
Okay, calm it down. But I'm saying it's not – I'm not putting it in that upper echelon. I just think it's a great movie in general. It's one of those ones that's right in the sweet spot.
You can put it there. It's okay.
Okay, shut your mouth. It's just right in the sweet spot. That's what I say. It kind of checks all the boxes for me. That's why I keep going back. So I continually watch it probably once every 2 years, if not every year. Go ahead,
That's a good frequency. This has got to be one of these movies that we picked up, I would say, like almost like Blockbuster night. But I know I watched it over at my cousin's house. Not the entire movie, but picked it up and watched it when I was a little bit younger, too, and caught, the tail end of the movie. But even that alone got me enough to like, dude, what movie was that? Oh, I'm like, okay, mentally making a note. And then eventually we got, we rented it and it was awesome. Tommy Lee Jones, I think, Harris, okay, they do an incredible job at Tommy Lee Jones. Holy shit. I'd almost make it equivalent to Val Kilmer's role as Doc Holliday, because you have like Kurt Russell, who's the star, but Tommy Lee Jones steals it a little bit.
I
here.
agree.
So I love this. Like I said, I think frequency is about once every, probably 12 to 16 months. But this is one of those movies you could pick up any time of the day, any type of like feel. And by the end of it, you're like, I'm glad I watched this. I'm glad I invested 2 hours into this, because every minute well spent.
Absolutely. Yeah. For me, this is probably like I said, like my first favorite serious movie, like where it's like when you're a kid, it's like, oh, I love Happy Gilmore, I love Ace Ventura.
It's all comedy,
but like more of an adult movie where you're like, I appreciate this, and like this is my favorite movie. It was always on cable, always on AMC. Saw it in
cable edit sucks though.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying like it got the ball rolling for me.
If I'm being honest, this movie doesn't.
It doesn't. You could play it on cable. Yeah, it doesn't.
On cable,
it's a perfect cable movie because
it doesn't take away.
There's not a lot of swearing. There's not a lot of blood or gore.
Yeah.
There's not sex.
They probably just cut down the opening scene.
You know what? I'll just say this. I like the content. I hate when you have to go to like commercials. I like the continuity
of course,
of watching a movie.
Ideally.
That's why, for me, man, it kind of pulls you out of it, and now you have to get back into it.
For sure. But it's how I
get
grew
what
up
you're saying.
watching it like that, and like I said, it was like my favorite movie for a long time. Still, I'd say top 3, and it's just like 2 A-list stars head to head. Yeah, just like great, and Tommy Lee coming into his own, and like people say Harrison Ford movies, his movie or his. I come back for Tommy Lee. I feel like more than Harrison Ford in this movie, but I think they're both amazing, and they both make the movie. They elevate the material to something that if some other people are in it, it might not be as good. But I think to me, this movie overall, besides the performances, just like everything works. Like the supporting characters are great. They're like, they're not like too big name of people, but they're people a little bit, like a lot of them, or at least like and if they don't, they do a good enough job. And like the pacing is just so good. It's like a little over 2 hours of a movie. It's like the perfect time where it's not too long, not too short, and like there's like I would say like 3 big action pieces, and then they put stuff around it. But even the stuff they put around it is interesting. It's like the before, but like say for example before the escape, like what happened that night, and them interrogating him, and then afterwards, like Richard. Just trying to solve the case, going to this place and this place, figuring out where is it, who's the one-armed man, why'd the one-armed man do it, like, and then mixing. Then you got the St. Patrick's Day scene, and you got, and then between that two, you got like Tommy Lee and his crew, and they got a great banter back and forth and a great dynamic, and just like you're kind of like rooting for everybody in the movie. Like
you're right. I can't pick a side.
You want like Richard to escape, but also you want Tommy Lee to like
have that
solve the problem and help him, and like it's like, and like also I like how it doesn't reveal the solution till like the end, where it's like you don't know who is behind it.
No, it's a cliffhanger.
You don't know why they were. The first time you watch it, at least.
Yeah.
The first time you watch
Can I at least point out
Sure.
that yes, you don't know exactly who is it, but you know that it's not him.
it's not Richard. No, yeah.
Right
exactly.
away,
Yeah.
that's all I
Yeah.
kind of wanted to make sure was apparent. Was like,
Yeah.
he is not guilty
No.
of this crime, and the whole movie he needs to prove his innocence.
We, as the audience, are discovering it with him.
Right.
So that's the good.
It's
That's a good movie where it's like
journey.
we are together figuring. We don't. There's not like, oh well, it's got to be this guy or this guy. We don't know why. We don't know what. And then we don't till like the last like third of the movie. You don't really quarter of the movie. You don't really know. And then it's like, oh, it's not this guy. So it's got to be so. Right. Oh, and this is why he.
Well, they're all connected, and that's
and it
the
really
beauty of
works well. And it's
of the reveal.
As you said, like it's not like, it's not like let's say like Speed or like I don't know T2 or something where it's like just balls whatever like T2 or it's like shooting up and all that type of action, but it's got action of like, oh, there's a crash, there's a chase scene, there's like a couple chase scenes, there's a fight that takes place on a roof, there's cool shit where it's like not too over the top and it's real, it's mostly believable. There's a couple parts where.
But we'll get into it, but it's not bad.
I would agree that Speed is balls to the wall.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's like the action like works, even though like, maybe you wouldn't think of it like, oh, this is an action movie, but it could
fall
It
in
has
action
a lot of
easily.
elements of it, or at least enough.
Right. There's
It's
enough.
a thriller.
I would say it's more of a thriller too, but I'm just saying, like, for not being an action movie, it's got good action scenes.
Okay, you need to drink some water here, man. We're about
Sure.
to talk for a long time, and while you're doing that, favorite scenes, logical
Let's do it.
to move into. I'm just gonna mention the opening title sequence gets you hooked.
Hell
with,
yeah. Great way.
Going top down through Chicago.
It's awesome.
Now, one critique, I'm not going to put it in picking nits, but like what was my favorite was that the murder scene had this like effect that I'm sure was popular at the time. Was
it's like a sepia tone or whatever.
yeah, like the black and white, and then like basically
negatives.
like,
Well,
negatives, right?
Yeah.
And then took like a picture of like,
Yep.
and sure maybe like make it more
That was
I guess,
definitely a sign of the times too.
trying to imprint on your brain, like, hey, this is important or whatever.
I think because it's showing. Well, it's kind of to me. It's like because it's the opening credits are like 15 minutes long. I don't know if you guys realize, like, they're still showing like names and things even through when he's getting transported. on the bus. So like,
yeah.
I
I just meant the top-down shot. That's what
yeah.
was,
No,
like,
I was
the
just saying like
initial stuff.
they're kind of because they're giving you a full like
Mini plot,
like
to
the night of what happened and then what happened, and then they go back, you cut back to him in the interrogation room, and he's like thinking about it in his head, and they keep like flashing back to like he's trying to figure out, okay, I was here at this time, she was there, like when I got home, here's what I saw, here's what I remember. And we don't get all the pieces like at the beginning. We kind of get him like a good amount, but then we don't
They're
get
trickled in there,
They
yeah.
kind of trickled throughout the movie or whatever.
Yep.
So I think maybe that's part of it, is trying to show, like, trying to separate it.
You gotta keep
like-
us separated.
Like this is like the event that caused everything to like maybe the rest of the movie, which is like the chase and the proving innocent. It's kind of like when a show does like a prequel thing in like black and white, like Better Call Saul, or like the ending part, where it's trying to like separate. That's what I took it as.
I can understand that. And it's done chaotically a little bit, so it's not like you're getting glimpses. You're not getting the full scope of what's going on. They give you enough. They give you enough, but it's
Yeah.
somebody getting murdered. I mean, you
Right.
kind of.
But I think they do a good job. I was gonna say really quick of like Celia Ward as the wife doesn't get a lot in this movie, but
No.
like the little she does, I think that's
does a lot.
great. Like it's a great, like they have a little banter at the party. Oh, I was writing my last joke. They're on the way home. They're like
She looks
a little
great,
talking
too.
and holding hands. Like you believe that they're a couple, even though we don't get to see a lot of them. Like
Right.
for having like 2 scenes or like 1.5 scenes, like I think that's pretty good.
I'm just saying, Celia Ward is plays the like higher echelon like wife or that kind of area, because she's also in House as like an administrative person as well.
Are you thinking of Cuddy? That's not Cuddy.
That's not Cuddy.
No, Celia Ward is in House.
Oh,
as
but
well.
not Cuddy
Oh, yeah,
though.
okay.
As an administrative
Yes,
person.
yes. You're right. You're right.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I know.
Because Cuddy is a minute, but I was okay. I'm
No,
sorry.
I know
It's
who
all
he's
good.
talking about.
Yeah.
But like again, in that space, she plays that role very well of like a put together. I could be at a gala or a blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So like, I think that was great casting, honestly.
Yeah.
But we'll get to casting later.
So as I said, the first, let's say like 15 minutes before the prison transfer is basically the night the murder happened, the party, him coming home to it, and then the interrogation, which I love. The guy they get, I think is Rossetti, his name, and then you got Ron Dean playing the other guy. They're great. Chicago,
Great.
you could tell they're like,
I love that you did this already.
Yeah.
So Rossetti, and we might need to put a picture up for the audience.
Image.
When I was a young boy, My Chemical Romance, when we would be shown like videotapes of like, hey, here's a family party from like 1978. We there used to be like a Wojciech
is it guy like your uncle or something?
family reunion,
Sure.
and they would show like old time videos. Like the guy Rossetti looks like every single one of my great uncles.
Oh, yeah.
like an old Polish Chicago guy. Like, hey, give me a hot dog, or
yeah.
I need a Miller
some
Lite.
brogies.
His
I
name's
get a Miller Lite over here.
Joseph Kosala.
Yes.
And he was a real life detective, I believe. He became an actor. He also
I love that.
was in the previous Entertainment Under Siege. So that's why he's in
okay,
this.
That's
Is
why
a little
it's-
bleed
a lot of
over.
people are. Newman and also was in Under Siege.
I was gonna say.
We'll get to cast. So I'm
So,
sorry. I just
but-
didn't even mention he.
I
looks
like it.
I just want to
exactly
say with him, Ron Dean, and then also incorporating real life at the time Chicago media. makes this feel authentic. Like,
Yes,
it
for
really
sure.
happened. Like, because like we grew up, I recognize some of the reporters still and stuff.
Sure.
You know, and we'll get to the St. Patty's thing, but they really
St.
filmed
Patty's
that.
Day, they filmed it literally on
I have
St.
I have a
Patrick's
clip
Day.
of them interviewing them like about the movie during the parade, like
Yes,
Tommy Lee
yes,
Jones
yes.
and shit.
He's like, yeah, I'm filming
Robert
The
Jordan,
Fugitive,
like
go check it out.
WGN
Yeah.
guy.
I literally just saw that clip the other day.
Yeah, so it's like that. Like they're getting like that makes that
Authenticity
That
through
adds
the
to the
roof.
movie where it's like, okay, like this feels like real cops and like this is
Absolutely.
what would happen. So they're talking to him and they're like, you know, who's the beneficiary? You're the sole beneficiary. Oh, so he's like, so financially, you're not going to be hurting after this, are you? I mean,
I hate that. I
she's
hate
worth
that
quite a bit of
narrative.
money.
I hate that narrative.
Yeah.
I'm a neuro, or like
I'm a
circuit-
vascular surgeon.
Yeah, he doesn't need the
And
fucking
you got
extra
the
money.
great Harrison Ford response. Are you suggesting that I killed my wife? Are you saying that I crushed her skull and then I shot her? How dare you?
Yeah.
When I came home, there was a man in my house. I fought with this man. He had a mechanical arm. You find this man. You find this man. Find this man. And then like they're in the next room. They're like, book him or whatever. And then like the whole court thing. They play the tape, which I'm going to get into opinions later, but Richard's a lawyer, man. Do something.
Yeah, he was just sitting
Get
there.
the tape thrown out. What are you doing, man? I object, Your Honor.
Well,
this
No,
is
the rea-
prejudicial.
The
We'll get
reality,
to the
though,
picking
that
names.
is always going to be part of evidence.
Yeah.
Well,
Sometimes they can argue it's
sometimes.
prejudicial.
Some,
I watch a lot.
oh, fucking. No, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the same
You-
actor.
You know what I'm saying. Yeah. It's great.
Sometimes.
It's great.
Sometimes.
Whoever like watching this, you should know.
Yeah, this is us.
That's
yeah.
fucking multiple
Great.
level. It's called layers.
Layers.
So they play the thing for him, and then obviously the physical
very
evidence.
incriminating.
The detectives give their testimony. No one's on Richard's side at all. I mean, maybe they interviewed the doctors. We didn't see it. They didn't show it, so I don't know.
But
But
having
either
positive
way,
views on
it doesn't.
doctors
It doesn't.
change
No,
the
I'm just
fact,
saying
yeah.
like character witnesses,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Richard's a good man.
Yeah, but the forensic evidence would say
right.
X, right.
So the judge sentences him to. He's like based on the brutality of the crime and whatever. I think execution, but you will be staying at the Cook County, whatever. You're going to be transferred to this prison.
State pen,
I
and
don't
then
remember.
they're gonna eventually,
So then that leads into our next the scene, which is the prison transfer. I'm just going to go
Yes.
from there all the way through the crash and everything because that's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
I mean, Ryan, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest, man. This is your favorite movie, so you're gonna
Yes, go
go
nuts.
through every single scene. So let's just have you go
Yeah, just
through.
Oh, for sure. man.
we'll
the
just sit.
movie.
We'll sit.
So Richard's being transferred like three other Copeland and two white dudes.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
So they're going and with the two guards, and then also I should mention
And the driver.
the one guard in the beginning, if you'll notice, who is before they got on the bus, is former Chicago Bear Otis Wilson.
Is
No
that right?
way.
Yeah, in the beginning of the movie, yeah, he's the mustache, not on the bus before they got
No,
on the
before
bus.
they get on.
Really?
Yeah, and they're like Copeland,
Yeah, and
Rick Kimball.
Interesting.
Here. He doesn't have a line, but
No, that's cool.
He lets
Very
them
cool.
through.
He's a big dude though, so yeah.
yeah, Otis Wilson,
Yeah.
linebacker for the Bears, 85 Bears.
Shout out.
Shout out. So then, okay, they're being transferred anyway on the bus, and is going to be in the that guy category. The dad, the grandpa from Grounded for Life, and the
Richard
guy,
Reel.
Tom from Office Space.
exactly. That's
Richard Reel.
that's it.
Yeah, he's one of the guards. And there's another African American younger guy, and the one inmate. Richard's looking around. He can kind of tell there's like something might be up.
They're up to
because the
some
one
shit.
guy looks at Copeland and Richard looks at them and he's like,
he put something in his mouth to look
yeah.
like he's
So he looks
foaming.
like he's foaming, having a seizure, and they're like, "We need a guy back here, or whatever." And
Faking
then
a
the guy-
medical
so then the one,
emergency,
the one younger guard
like,
goes
fuck it,
back there because they're like 40 minutes. They say 40 minutes from the prison. So then the one guy's like, "Just let him." You know, he's fine, or we're almost. His are almost there, but then he literally just said they're 40 minutes away. So obviously they're not
I
almost.
thought it
there.
was 20 minutes. I could be wrong. though.
Anyway,
Oh, that's fine.
so then he gets back as he goes. He opens and locks the door, goes to help the guy, but the guy has a shank made from a toothbrush, I believe.
yeah, a shiv.
Stabs him in the gut, and then the other guy shoots him.
Richard Reel pulls out a
Puts- yeah,
shotgun,
shotguns, boom.
Blast him.
shooting.
The-
The first guy dead.
And then the other guy,
hits his gun.
Other
so it
guy
goes through the roof.
wrestles with the gun, shoots the driver,
the bus driver,
driver,
right into the car, into the
and
side.
then so again, Kimball and the other
Copeland.
inmate, or the
Copeland.
Sorry, Copeland are the only two that are
and then
surviving.
Richard, the other guy's still alive technically.
I'm sorry, with Richard Reel that survived the actual crash.
They never say what happened to that other guy he wrestled with the gun with. You don't see what happened to him. Maybe he didn't survive the crash. Anyway, so before they tip over, they're like the bus is moving and he's shooting at them. And I like how they show Richard and Copeland like trying to avoid his blasts. They're like, oh shit, like ducking behind the chair.
Yeah.
Anyways, the bus tips over down a hill multiple times. It's sick.
Yep.
And then they crash. The whole thing is fucked. And the dude is like in pain. He's stabbed. And the one guard is like, help him, Kimball. You're a doctor. Do something. Unlock me. And he gets the keys, unlocks himself, drops the keys. Copeland grabs the keys on the low. And then as he's going to help the one guard, you see lights come in. You hear a train. They've landed on a train track.
They literally.
They're about to be killed and smashed by an oncoming train. He's like, "Help me with this man." Richard Reel is like, "Fuck you."
Fuck you.
He's like,
I'm out.
I'm all for myself. Getting the fuck out of here. Copeland, help me. He's like, "Kiss my ass, doc." And he goes out the back. And now Richard single-handedly throws the dude over his shoulder, pushes him out the front window, and then like
and hops out himself.
The way he props himself off is like kind of funny. It was like this.
No, it's kind of the way it was tilted. He had to kind of jimmy himself.
Yeah, so
up
he
there.
gets out.
I would say he just barely, as the bus hits it, he's like he jumps at the last second to the side, and then but then after that, as he's like he thinks he's safe, the derailed train is coming at him.
Flying.
He has to run in shackles and like get down in the ditch before it takes him out.
Was in like he goes down to like a mine shaft, like a,
I think it was like a ditch.
Well, it's got wood on the back.
Maybe I don't want. I don't know.
It's not a mine shaft. It was just like the train went over.
Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
It looks like a mine shaft. It looks like a built up thing.
I took it as like a ditch, and maybe there was something that maybe the train broke and like the wood shattered or something. And Copeland helps him out of the ditch, unlocks him, and he says, I don't care which way you go, but don't follow me. And then Richard says, Copeland, be good.
Good.
And then they're now we're on the run. Copeland goes this way. Richard's goes this way.
And Richard's got a nice slice on his side.
And Richard, you're right. Richard has got a puncture wound. Yep. So he's bleeding. So now we get to brings in Tommy Lee Jones in the movie and his crew.
Tommy Lee Jones comes in and he's fucking holding court. Now he does
Samuel Gerard.
He does a big balls move where he goes, "Who's in charge?"
I'll take over the.
And I love the point where the sheriff, which we'll get into cast
bullshit statement,
Cersei.
Well, the sheriff goes, "Everybody's dead. Like, we don't need to do."
The prison guard said, "Well, that's right."
No. The
you're right.
like, everyone's dead.
Based on what the prison guard told him.
We don't want people calling.
Right.
Yes.
So the sheriff just goes, "Nobody's alive. Case closed." He's like, "Well, you don't mind that I take over then?" As soon as he takes over, then they get the info that.
And then they see prison shackles.
Well, I was saying
prison shackles.
The whole thing, they're walking up with the crew, and they're kind of you kind of get right away the tone of them, their dynamic where they're busting each other's balls. Like, why would you wear those heels? You should have worn your boots. Why do we care? She's our mother. Blah blah blah. And they're like the whole they got a nice dynamic. And then the one state trooper is like, "Excuse me, here you go." And he's like, whoosh, pulls down his thing like, "I'm the fucking U.S. Marshal, bitch. Like, get the hell out of my way."
Hey, what do you mean, Slick?
Yeah, Slick. And then the one guy's like, Sheriff Rawlings. I was like, what's his name? Sheriff Rogers? Rawlings. Oh, okay. Yeah, and then he gets into it with, he's like, I need to talk to you, Sheriff. He's like, I'll be with you in 1 second.
And then he's like, you want to come and revisit that bullshit story that you gave?
Like, oh, look, we found leg shackles. We're always amazed when we find shackles without legs in them.
But like I said, he just gave the investigation over to Tommy Lee.
Well, Tommy Lee took it.
No, technically he has jurisdiction.
No, I'm saying he didn't want to give it to him. He's
but he didn't let it. He let it go.
He Willem Dafoed it. Hey, tell me what happened.
U.S. Marshals has jurisdiction.
Oh, yeah.
But the sheriff could have been a dick and been like, I will fight you on this. He just said, no,
you're
good.
He was a dick, kind of. Not like he could have been more of a dick, but initially he was kind of dismissive to Tommy Lee.
He was. Yeah.
And then he was like, you guys wasted your time. Like I said, you wasted your time coming down here. There's nobody alive. And then, of course, Richard Reel, is that his name he said, right?
Yes, Richard Reel.
Richard Reel has survived, and he's like saying some bullshit story about how he pulled out the guard.
Right.
Even though he was a coward, and that he saved him.
Yeah, he was making himself be some superstar.
He died, and he's like, what about Kimball? He's like, yeah,
I think he's gone.
I don't think he made it. And then as soon as he says that, oh, look what we got here. We got Shackle. And then, of course, Nick Cersei Tuesday's character, the sheriff, is like, well, I don't want my office being flooded with calls. Well, shit, sheriff, I guess I'm going to have to just take over your investigation then.
And then he flexes hard nuts. I love
and then,
it.
After that, at that point now, the search is on for Kimball and Copeland, which we don't really know about at this point yet as much, but
picking it, so we'll go.
Yeah. Then their search is on. He says, I need like whatever, 15 miles this way, 15 miles that way.
I mean, Tommy Lee Jones sets up like I would imagine any.
It actually sounds
lead,
like forensically.
Any lead would do it. I need a perimeter here. I want roadblocks here. I want,
He's calling in all the natural.
I want 50, suggest checkpoints on a 15-mile radius out here in I-57, I-24, and Route 13.
Yep.
Yeah.
And 50, those are all interstates. Like, these actually check out, like, when he's mentioned.
Oh, there's another funny line, too. The sheriff calls him Wyatt Earp. And he's like, that's good, Wyatt Earp. He kind of takes a little salt to that. He's like, fuck you. So now we go to Richard Kimball is on the run. He's, like, going to, like, a creek bed. And he makes his way, like, under, like, a bridge. And he sees this mechanic shop or, like, a gas station. Mm-hmm. Mechanic pulls in with overalls, takes the overalls off. Leaves him in his truck, and Richard's obviously in prison yellows.
Yep.
So he needs to blend in. So he conveniently takes the overalls out of the truck. Now he's in them to try and blend in. He heads to the local hospital because he's got the stab wound, as Bobby said. And he blends in by grabbing a crate and looking like a worker.
Service
of
delivery.
sorts.
Yeah.
Makes his way into a doctor's office. And stitches himself up.
Patches himself.
The whole deal. Looks professional, looks good.
Gives himself
Harrison Ford, by the way,
antibiotics.
great shape. He's like, 50 or something?
Dude, the
He looked
guy
like he was
could
like 25.
steal your 20-year-old
Yeah.
girlfriend even if you're
Crazy.
18. He had that beard with a little bit of that gray.
Also,
a little gay for
I think
him.
looks pretty good with the beard, not going to lie.
No, I was going to say for sure. I get it.
So he steals the. Sews himself up.
In the doctor's office. Then he makes his way to the comatose patient's room
To get
where
some extra clothes.
He drinks his
and
entire.
food.
He drinks all his water. The nurse comes in. He has to hide behind the door. Thing. He's like, "Oh, I'm thirsty today," or whatever. And
But
then,
at least that checks though, because you're dehydrated. You have no food in you.
It was smart because the guy, the comatose patient, he's not awake. He ends up cutting his beard and then shaving it because he has to blend in.
And they're just getting the facts of his
right.
Yeah.
And then he eats the guy's egg sandwich. He looks like a pretty good egg sandwich. Not gonna
And
lie.
grabs a bunch of food, throws it in pockets.
Posed as a doctor.
Right.
He has like the lab coat and the stethoscope.
Cardigan. Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's a state trooper walking in with the printout. He's looking for him.
Right.
Richard walks right by him, and the guy
looks
questions
just
him. He's
like
like,
me, yeah.
"Hey,
Not the
Doc,
beard."
you seen a guy looking for him? He's 6'1", brown hair, 180 pounds." He's
Describing
every
him.
time I look in the mirror, pal, except for the beard, of course. And he's like, "Doc," and he's like, "Oh shit, what's going on?" He's like, "You're fly." He's like, "Oh, thanks."
Zip up.
And then he exits the hospital. As he's exiting, the ambulance comes in with the guard, who they found the next day under the wreckage. The black guard, the young guy.
Right. So this has got to be a time lapse of
I don't know, like 10
6 to 8
hours.
hours.
We don't know.
Let's get into the time lapse
Yep.
a little later.
All right,
'cause I
okay,
have
but-
que-
Anyway,
I have
they bring
questions
the
on
guard
that.
in with the ambulance, and
Guard recognized.
Richard helps the guy get him down from the ambulance, and the guy recognizes him, but he puts the oxygen mask over him so he can't say anything. He's like, "Kimball."
And he's like, oh, he's got a puncture wound to this. And he's like, how the hell?
How the hell you know from looking at his face? All of that, that line. And then Richard steals the ambulance and is trying to just get out of town, I guess. Get the hell out
I'm
of
just
there.
saying, like you said, I'm not going to put in piggy nits, but being less conspicuous in that type of moment.
Oh, absolutely. You should
Would've given
should have
yourself-
stolen like a civilian car.
No,
or
but even
something.
even if he took the ambulance, I wouldn't have my face I'd kind of be looking down and not trying to create so much attention to myself, and then you could flip it out to a different car if you ever needed to.
So then Richard's anyway. He's in the ambulance. He's trying to book it. He's trying to get out of town. They get a call from the hospital that the guard recognized Richard. Said he's the one.
hospital, yeah.
Said he's the one who pulled him out, or whatever. And then they're like, "That's weird." And then they're like, "And an ambulance is missing." Oh, hot damn!
Hot damn, we got
Then
him.
they
Let's
get
go.
in the
Helicopter.
helicopter. Samuel Gerard's in the helicopter. They spotted the car. Now they're in the helicopter. They're above him now as Richard's driving, and they're
Going
heading
through a
towards a
viaduct.
tunnel.
Yep.
And Richard thinks he's going to make it out, but the helicopter cuts him off other side of the
drop
tunnel. Now he stops, pulls to the side, gets out of the ambulance. He's like, "I'm fucked. Where am I going to go?" Because they're coming from both sides. He sees a sewer.
Sewer grate. Slides
Sewer
in.
grate goes in there, and then as the detectives are like, "Shine a light in this car. Shine a light in this car." He's like, "What do you got?" "I got nothing." He's like, "You got to be kidding me. You got to be." And they're like, "Where is he?" And then they hear
Got a gopher.
you hear the running water, and then Samuel Gerard's like, "We got a gopher." and they get into the
Flips the grate
sewer,
up, yeah.
and Cosmo got the funny line, I just bought these shoes. He's like, shut up, Cosmo. So then, Richard's walking through this the sewer pipes, it splits. So I don't know.
Was there a strange coincidence that there's a Newman in this
shit.
and a
I
Cosmo?
just bought these shoes.
I don't know. That's a good. I
Am I the only one? Like, okay, sorry. I was just like,
that's a good point. Anyway,
Yep.
there's like the road forks, if you will, in the sewer.
Right.
He throws his jacket the one way, he goes down the other. He sends Joey Pants and
his other supporting officer.
Biggs or Newman,
left,
I forget
yeah.
whoever.
Newman,
That way, and he goes by himself down the way Richard went. And there's like a slide, almost kind of like a sewer pipe, but it's like on an angle. Richard gets down there, but Samuel Gerard slips, loses his gun, and now Richard has the gun
Right. and
pointed at Samuel Gerard, and that's the famous line of the movie. I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. Like, if you had to, like, most people are probably, that's the one you remember.
Yeah, of course.
And
Very callous response.
he holds the gun on him, but he doesn't shoot him, and he doesn't tell him to remove. Well, he doesn't know. He has a backup gun, but he should. And he just walks down there, and then Samuel Gerard, backup gun, rips
That's
it
cool.
open.
I love that scene.
I
where
love
he's
that.
just like that.
Yeah, and then he follows him down. The pipe is dead ended to the dam. He's got nowhere to go.
It's just the water.
Samuel
offshoot.
Gerard has got Richard Kimball dead to rights. Put your hands up, drop the weapon, go on your knees. And Richard is, peeking over the dam. What am I going
Weighing
to
his
do? I think I
options,
can
yeah.
make it. Fucking flips off the dam, which is, how high you guys think? Like,
Couple hundred.
200 feet, probably.
probably higher? 1,000 feet?
No,
Either
not
way,
1,000, you gotta
the
be lying.
way in which they show that it's clearly a dummy body that.
Oh,
they just
yeah,
threw
I
out
like
there.
it.
Well,
There's no ifs, ands, or
I'm sure
buts.
bringing up Picky Nits. Highly doubt he would survive. He'd be fucking
But I
dead.
mean, the fact though that they
You have a
threw the
small
dummy
chance, not
body
much.
and it does like not a front flip or anything.
It kinda goes-
kind of goes like this, and you're gonna land like head first in this. Like,
I
dude,
mean, you got to hit like he did, like the water at the perfect angle and the perfect time where it like jettisons you down to the rest of the river or whatever. Because if you're not, you're hitting the wall, you're hitting rocks.
You'd have to
even
springboard out
even
a
if you
little
didn't
bit.
hit any of those. From a fall that great, the water turns into concrete. Basically, your bones will be broken. Like
The only thing that I would give him possible survival on this is, like you said, it was angled, right? And
Yeah.
if he maybe caught the current of that angle before getting slammed
let's
up against.
save it for picking.
so.
and
I
stuff, whether he
like
can survive.
though that
Okay.
after he falls off, Samuel
still
Gerard,
dead.
Tommy Lee is in disbelief.
He never landed.
And Cosmo
or
comes. He's
Peter
like,
Pan.
hey man, he's like,
So we're
what
good
happened?
here.
Where'd he go? The guy did a Peter Pan off this
Peter
dam
Pan.
right here. What? Yeah, boom. He's like, and then
I like his response. He's
oh
like,
yeah,
all right, we're
Cosmo.
done here then.
Holy shit, can we go home now? No. And then like. They get up. They finally get out of the dam or whatever, and he's like, "Shut the water off this dam, Sam. You out of your mind? He's dead.
Scrape the
They had to
bottom
make
of
him
this.
easier to catch them.
Yeah.
And then
Give me that corpse.
He's like, He's like saying the same thing. Like, I want helicopter hovering 100 feet over here.
Yeah.
Down the road here, down the river here. How come they have turned off the water yet?
How come they didn't shut off the water?
They're working on it. How come they haven't turned off the water yet? And then we see Richard has survived. He's like barely clinging to, like, he's pretty, I don't know, beat up, I guess, or I don't know.
Near death
So
and then
he's,
freezing
he's
too. It's also
exhausted,
Yeah,
and then he passes out on
and this
like
is
In like a
Illinois
leaf
March.
on
the
the
bank, but he
Like, just the
floats
leaves
down the
insulate him
river
a little
enough.
bit.
under leaves. He's like,
Yeah.
I'll say
So
this.
again, save it for picking.
So he's hiding there for the night, and then he has this dream about his wife, and it kind of like, who killed her. So now he's like, okay. He starts making his way back. We see a shot of him walking in a railroad through a tunnel, and then the next thing is him, like dyeing his hair, and like it looks to be the bathroom in there somewhere. But then again, I'm like, where did he buy the hair dye?
hair
And
dye.
how did also? I mean, I'm
What-
picking nits,
picking
but
nits.
how does he have the money or the
Yeah, yeah.
wallet? Like anyway.
So he ends up disguising himself, and then now there's an undetermined amount of time that passes.
So then he's at a new look. The hair's darker. He hitchhikes with a woman on the highway. She gives him a ride, and that's when we see it's kind of like a red herring, kind of like a fake out scene where they're like, "Oh, Sam, we found." They just say him.
Yeah.
She's staying with a woman in whiting. She picked him up.
Right.
So
Oh, yeah.
let's go get him. And you think it's going to be Richard.
Right. No,
But then
it does 180
It's
you.
Copeland.
Yeah.
So but I I don't know if we needed this scene, but I like it because I like that it shows him and his crew and how they work, and like they're posing as homeless drunk guys, and the other guys are workers, and there's like
I like a flower delivery
Yeah.
guy who drops and becomes a shotgun.
bust the door open. Copeland's place. He's with his girl. Samuel Gerard goes into the bedroom with the girl. She's screaming. Newman, the young guy, gets taken by Copeland when he's going around the corner, and
Yeah, he
has a
doesn't
gun.
check his-
Copeland's got a gun to his head, and he's like, "I got you, man. I got you, man."
Yeah.
He's like, "I want out of here. I want out." And then Samuel Gerard just like around the corner shoots the gun like,
Twice.
through like Newman's head's like right here. It goes around his back. You can see the bullet.
Across, the like where it kind of grazed his
and
clothing.
kills Copeland.
Yeah,
And then,
2 shots. Boom, boom.
They're stunned that he did that. Newman stunned. Afterwards,
I agree with him. Are you fucking
They go
crazy?
outside, and he's like, "I can't believe you did that. I'm gonna have permanent hearing damage. You could have killed me." He's like, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?" Yeah.
I don't bargain.
Listen, I don't bargain. Okay, I love that. He's just so.
I mean, that also again sets up
yeah.
how
It sets up his-
Samuel Gerard
Yes.
is as a
It's his character.
U.S. Marshal. Is that like
No
This
nonsense.
is no fucking around
Yeah.
time.
Even I love you guys, but I will do whatever I can to get my man.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
So then I think it's our first table read.
Oh, here we go.
So this is the I should say first, setting it up. Richard, it makes his way back to Chicago. He is walking, looks like under like Whacker or something. I don't know, like it's some under, or I mean not Whacker. He's like under like a bridge, but it's like cars.
It could be Lower Wacker,
Yeah,
but it's not.
I don't know. Anyway,
Determinate.
it's by Merchandise Mart, according to the train thing. I'm not familiar with
Sure,
the
okay.
whole city layout.
So
but
this is the
he
first one.
calls his
right?
lawyer and he says,
I kind of know where it is. I used to work.
he
around
says,
there.
first this should be the Richard's lawyer phone call conversation.
Okay, yes.
Anyway, and Richard's he's like, "I need money," and he's like, "I can't help you that way as your lawyer and as your friend. Turn yourself in." Blah blah blah. And he's like, "Where are you?" He says, "St. Louis," and then obviously the lawyer has now turned this over to the police because he has to.
I'll be.
Well, they
Cosmo
tap the lawyers' phones immediately because
Yes.
he was
And
a
all of his, like,
fugitive and
in all possible like professional relations too.
I'll be Samuel Gerard, and there's like 5 people in this. So
give
wanna-
me the
I'll do
ancillary.
Cosmo.
you want to be Cosmo?
And
I
let
can
him
do
be Henry.
Biggs.
Henry and Biggs and
Poole?
Stevens.
You got
and Poole.
Biggs, Henry, and Poole. Then
I got Biggs, Henry, and Poole.
Okay.
and then there's like the other guy too,
There's Stevens.
Marshall Stevens.
How about you do Stevens?
Let me do Stevens. You do Poole.
me or him?
One of
I'll
you
do Poole. That's
Okay,
fine.
so I'm
I
just
got
Cosmo and Poole.
I'm just Gerard
Yep.
and
and
I
then-
got Biggs, Stevens, and
Poole.
No, I
Or
got
you got
Poole.
Poole, sorry.
Henry.
Biggs, Stevens, and Henry. Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
So he showed up, not dead yet. Let that be a lesson to you boys and girls. Don't ever argue with the big dog, because the big dog is always right.
Roof.
Henry.
I might be crazy, but that train sounds like an L.
St. Louis doesn't have an elevated train.
How do you know it's an elevated train?
You know, I think he's right. I lived under an L for 20 years.
Oh, well, then you can explain the difference in the sound of an elevated train as opposed to a train running along the ground. You must have ears like an eagle. Play that back. I want to hear the sound of an elevated train.
Wait a minute now. What cities have else? New York.
Philly,
We do.
we do.
We got an L. Milwaukee's got an L.
Hold it right, and then they're playing the thing and he's listening
Yeah,
to
they're
it.
playing the audio track.
Hold it right there. Well, the lawyer says he sounds guilty. There are bells in the background. There's a guy on the PA. I want you to drop everything but the guy in the PA. Can you do that? And then he does that. Yeah, right there. What's he saying? Sounds like next stop. Do it again.
Yeah.
Next stop.
Merchandise Mart.
Son of a bitch, our boy came home.
That bell is the bell on Wells Street Bridge. It's 6 blocks away.
I knew that was an elevated train.
Oh, yeah, big dog. You're never wrong.
Sammy, when I die, I want to come back just like you.
Oh, you mean happy and handsome?
I'll notify the press.
No press.
Right? No press.
There it is. Yeah.
So-
It's very fluid. I like that scene because it seems very candid, very quick. It's not like it didn't feel super
No, it feels
rehearsed.
organic. Like
Yes,
they have
thank you.
they're a friendship,
Good
and
banter,
a rapport, and like this is their dynamic.
And you're getting more of his personality here. Like, I can't be wrong. Even though right away he's like, oh, so you could hear this. And he's like, oh, I knew it. It's like, You're just taking credit everywhere, huh?
It's got a couple quick ones. Richard stops Dr. Charles Nichols on the street after he comes from his tennis club, I believe, or something.
Yeah.
Asks him for money, whatever he had on him. And, like, I would say now that, when you know
The whole story.
spoiler alert, that Charles Nichols is behind it, you kind of watch it differently where he's like, get in, Richard. Like, I wonder, like, if he got in, would he have taken him to somewhere to...
He would have tried to turn him in.
or would he have turned him in? Would he have gotten him killed? Like, he's like, oh, can I do anything? Because, like, at the time he's like, oh, look.
I have a different take on this. I think he'd want to know more about what, like, obviously his situation, or if he knew more information outside.
I think
almost like keep your enemies closer.
But I think either way he wants tabs on him. He wants to know where he's,
And you can tell when he gets interrogated by the police that he wants them to believe, I don't know where Richard is. I'm not.
And we, as the audience, the first time watching it, really believe like he's a good friend of him.
Right.
And then he has his best interest at heart. And so anyway, has him for money. He gives him the money,
bucks,
and then the cop's like, moving on or whatever. He goes,
you got a green,
And Richard rents a room from an old Polish woman and her son.
Yeah, on the south side. Yep.
And then
they were speaking Polish, right?
I'm pretty sure.
And a little bit of Russian,
It's
too.
in Chicago. It's a good chance. We're like,
Sounded like Polish.
Yeah. It was.
I think Chicago does have one of the largest Polish.
So he rents a room in like a basement, and then Gerard and his crew get get the files on Richard from the Chicago police, and they kind of ask them, like, like I said, like, why do you murder her? It's like, well, she had money, but he's a doctor, but she had more money, and like,
it's
they're
a
like,
weak
we're gonna
case,
do all these interviews. I want to do all
again.
again, re-interview everyone. They're like, oh, you're not going to use the media to?
Hell no.
It's like, no, we want him to get set back in his life. Maybe make
Wants
some
to get comfortable.
make some mistakes
relax,
or whatever. And then you got so Rich is what starts his
investigative
plot
research
of Richard going to Cook County Hospital. Now, he worked at Chicago Memorial. It's not the same hospital, but a different one in the city. He's trying to research the prosthetics lab. So he eventually steals a janitor's ID from the locker room and cuts his own ID, puts his picture on it, he buys overalls from like this
Desmondo.
Where you at, Desmondo? And so he can get better access
he's in and out,
to
and
getting
people
into
don't
the computer lab. Like, he pretends to clean the blinds, and he's really looking up, like, okay, all the different, like, posthumous here, ages of 35 to 50.
Because during his struggle, he obviously had knowledge.
He's remembering more things from
remembering
the night.
more about where
and
we
see the one-armed guy kind of, I think, for the first time maybe in the flashback of that, where it's like him actually wrestling.
You start to get more pieces of the flashback where you can start to make out the guy's face you see for the first time, curly hair,
and then
which was clearly a wig.
Richard narrows it down to 8 potential people who hold this description of the age and the arm and everything.
That was 5.
Are those 8 or
with the modified?
Whatever. He gets it
5.
down from
Doesn't
like
matter.
70 to like 5 or 8, whatever it is. And
one dead.
so
other in jail.
While he's doing this, Samuel Gerard's also interviewing Charles Nichols, as Woj said, and Charles Nichols is like, "Oh, actually, I saw him this morning." He's like, "Really? You saw him? Like, what'd you do?" Well, I gave him some money, and he's like, "Oh, what are you going? Where's he going?" Like, I don't know. Why would I? I know he didn't tell you, but what do you think? He's like,
He's too smart to. Yeah.
the way he does it, he's like, "You want me to help you so you can put him back in jail?" I don't think so, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, again, the backstory that Nichols actually wants him dead because he's literally the last piece that could. One of the last piece, I take that back. The one-armed man can put him out too, but he definitely wants him donezo.
So then we got the police raid Richard where he's staying at, and you're like, oh shit, they fucking found him. But it turns out the son of the woman was a drug dealer.
Yeah, selling weed.
And they were, or maybe I think
like
it was
a pedo or something.
I think it was
like that.
crank or something.
selling
said
something.
you like stringing out girls. That was the line. So him and his friend, anyway,
drugs.
they bust him down outside of the place. We think again, another red herring. We think it's Richard, but it's not. It's
because they have the place surrounded. He has no exit.
And then that's when we have Richard. He's still working at the hospital, and there's a bus crash of a bunch of people, and this little black kid gets taken in there, and he has they think it's a bruised sternum or something, but it's
and the
worse.
nurse is like, hey, send him.
So like the one nurse is looking at him and Richard. You can hear him like mouthing like, check the film, check the film, and the guy like barely looks at it, and he's like, oh, he's fine, just take him to observation. That's when Julianne Moore's character,
like,
hey, can you wheel this guy down? You're not doing anything to observation, and then Richard Kimball's like walking down. He like looks at the film like he knows what he's doing,
Right.
and he like feels the chest. He's like, I know it's something worse because I'm a big time doctor. He
This is not his first rodeo.
forges some signatures in the elevator and then sends them to the OR. And he's like, doctor, there's
Blah, blah, blah,
there's a
said-
fresh one. He's like, get into surgery right away.
Saved his
Saves
life.
his life. When he goes back down though, Julianne Moore's like, hey, where's the boy I sent to?
She
Oh,
hasn't been around.
never came here.
Calls him out.
Yeah, she calls him,
confronts him.
asks for his ID, calls for security. Richard escapes.
Yeah.
And then that's when they call Samuel Gerard there, and they realize. Well, before that, they went to the apartment because the guy, I should say, the son of the Polish woman, told the cops,
Oh, I've seen
"This
that
guy's
in- yeah.
staying in my
Richard
mom's
Kimball,
basement." That's when Samuel Gerard and them go down there. He's like, "Oh, we're eating oranges and we're making IDs or whatever."
Right.
And then they go to the hospital, and she's like, "Why did you only took his ID? Why didn't you do more?" He's like, "What was I supposed to do?" Blah blah blah. And then
Right. And I called
he's
security.
like,
It's like-
"How's the boy?" He's like, "Saved his life."
Right, so right there, he kind of raised an eyebrow. It's
Yeah.
like even while he's putting himself at high risk
Well,
scenarios,
yeah. And the movie-
he's still benevolent.
And the movie's done a good job of showing us that Richard's a good person. He saved the guard on the bus. He
Right.
saved the kid.
he saved like 3 or 4 lives by the end of this. you
Yeah,
know?
like, and then like Woj said, he gets the ID. He's like, Desmondo, Jose, Luis, where you at, Desmondo?
Yeah.
And the reality is, he could have killed, right, Tommy Lee when he got up. He could have just been like, boom,
Could
boom,
have done anything to a bunch of people.
So yeah, so they get they kind of find him out. They blow up his spot or whatever. But at that point, he has those names.
He has the list.
Finally,
He starts
catches
calling
on.
people. He's pretending to be a guy from the prom committee or the high school reunion committee.
Reunion.
One guy's dead, and then the other guy's armed robbery, and
Yeah.
that's when he goes to visit Clive
Sykes.
Driscoll. He thinks is maybe
Possible.
the guy. He goes to the Cook County Jail or whatever.
Because
the-
he was
Oh,
in there for
yeah, yeah,
aggravated
yeah,
like
yeah.
assault. Or
yeah,
something.
and then
Sorry, yeah.
he goes to see which is again, Mickey Nits. I don't know how he
It's fine,
gets
it's
into
fine, it's
there.
fine, it's fine,
Anyway,
it's fine. Moving on.
sees Clyde Driscoll, sees he's not the guy, and immediately he's like,
What do you mean?
Sorry.
How does he get in there? Fake ID.
No. Just
whatever.
Keep
Anyway,
going.
sees the
Picking
guy. He's not him. He's like, I gotta go. He's
Peace,
like,
yeah.
come on, man, ain't got no TV in this bitch. We just talk about anything. He's like, I wish I could. And at the same time he's doing that, Samuel Gerard and Biggs and Henry are also in the building, and they're making their way down there as well, I believe.
Sure.
And while Samuel Gerard gets pissed off at Biggs for talking about it's hinky. What do you mean hinky? What's hinky? He's like, just say I have the line if you want it.
There's hold on, and actually the elevator going up. So in Chicago, there is a prison within the Chicago city limits.
Yeah.
and it's all the if you ever pay attention, there's like razor wire, like 2 layers of it. It's way up on a building, so them going up to that checks out.
You get the full quote.
Sure.
I didn't see
Yeah.
the other part.
He
yeah.
says, this is hinky. This guy's a college graduate, went to medical school. He's not going to come through all the security, go to the lockup to find someone his own people say does not exist. Hinky. Well, what does that mean, Biggs? Hinky. I don't know. Strange. Weird? Well, why don't you just say strange or weird? I mean, hinky has no meaning. Well, we say hinky. I don't want you guys using words around me that have no meaning. I'm taking the stairs and walking. He's like, and then he walks away. He's like, how about bullshit? How about bullshit, Sam? And then, so yeah, they end up going one way. He goes the other. Well, and the way Samuel Gerard goes, while Richard Kimball's going down the stairs, he catches him out of the corner of his eye. He thinks, like, hey, this guy looks familiar. And then while Richard's going down the stairs, he yells, hey, Richard! And he looks up. And then that's when the chase ensues. Our second big action scene of the movie, I would say.
They try to close.
Chasing him down the stairs, like looking, and then he goes the one way. And then while he's about to leave the building, Richard does a smart move where he's like, officers, there's a man in a blue coat waving a
Sweet
gun. And so 4 officers take him down so he can walk away.
It builds. It gives him some extra time. Yeah.
And then the Henry, the other U.S. Marshal's like, U.S. Marshal, let him go, let him
rips
go.
his-
And then as he's trying to run away, this is my favorite. As he's trying to walk away or run away, they're closing the gate things. The one guy tries to reach him every time it gets me. He reaches from the counter what the hell? Are you
Like
gonna-
a weak
what are you
effort,
gonna do?
yeah.
So anyway, he's getting through the door and his foot's caught and Samuel George shoots at him, but the glass is bulletproof.
Yeah.
So
that actually checks too.
he
for
could have
the
shot his
building.
foot, I suppose. But anyway,
But I like the
Because-
last 2 though was literally
yeah, at
chest
his head.
head.
And then he's
there's-
this look on his face you gotta be fucking kidding
There's a
me.
madman in a blue jacket waving a gun around and yelling, "Stop that man!"
Yeah.
And he fucking comes around the car. Stop that man! And they all tackle him.
Stop that man.
So yeah.
So then he makes it through the door and then Samuel, Gerard, and Henry are like, open the door. What the hell is going on here? Like, and then Big's on top of the roof, and he's like the bird's eye view with the cops. He's like, he said, "East through the plaza, Sam." And Wallace is on St. Patty's, or the St. Patty's Day parade at least. So, and this really took place during the 1992
St. Patrick's Day
or
parade.
93.
92 is the.
Okay, one of them.
It came out in 93.
Yeah,
do some
parade.
editing.
And he's like, he's going this way. Richard smartly grabs a green hat out of the trash can, puts it on, and walks with these looks like union guys or something, maybe I don't know, some type of thing.
Yeah,
they're in the parade,
and then drops his
and
jacket.
he walks in there, and then Samuel Gerard and them are looking for him, and then he takes the coat off and he slips out of the parade, and then Samuel Gerard has no idea where he is. He somehow escaped. There's an article about it in the paper the next day, which is actually kind of funny.
Yeah, a lad.
Hey, a lad? What do you mean lad? That's what he said. He said lad.
Now, could we agree that this probably couldn't happen at any other parade?
Pig and Nits.
Before the next table read, I got the one quick scene of actually sets it up. So Richard calls Sykes' house, who is the one-armed man who actually did all the things, from a bar. He's at a bar, and then he sees there's a cop posting up outside the house. So he goes to the back way, breaks down these wood planks, and then breaks glass to get into the house. Goes into the house, sees the pictures on the wall, recognizes him. Then he goes
Starts to
through,
investigate,
finds the arm in the dresser. Then he goes through his paperwork. He has a bunch of slips, tax forms and paychecks from Devlin McGregor, who was the sponsor of the fundraiser that night.
Earlier.
His wife was murdered. He sees pictures of Lentz, the guy from that night as well, with him fishing.
Right.
And then he decides to call Samuel Gerard right then and there. And let's do that. We're on that table right here. I'll be Samuel Gerard again. Who wants to be Kimball? And then we got a couple more guys. I think we got Biggs, Cosmo, and Poole.
I'll do Biggs, Cosmo, and Poole.
And then the technician. And then what would you be Kimball then?
I'll be Kimball.
All right, so Bobby, you do the ancillary characters, and we'll be the
Sure.
two main guys. You're the secretary too. Then you got to start off.
All right, Sam. There's some guy on line 3 claiming to be Richard Kimball. Who is it? We got another Kimball on line 3. Cass cackling.
Henry, let me see that phone.
Tell me it looks good with a beard. I think so. Sammy, ask him if he's enjoyed the parade.
Yeah, this is Gerard.
Do you remember what I told you in the tunnel?
Snapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Well, it was noisy. I think you said something like, "He didn't kill your wife."
I remember what you told me.
I remember. You were pointing my gun at me.
You said, I don't care.
He's on the south side.
Yeah, Richard, that's right. I don't care. I'm not trying to solve a puzzle here.
Well, I am trying to solve a puzzle here.
5 seconds to location.
And I just found a big piece.
And then he slams the phone down, but not on the
He
hook.
leaves it,
next
open.
to it purposefully, so they can trace the call. He's like, he didn't hang up. Or he's like, oh, we got him at South Side.
256, yeah.
It's like, get a car there. He's like, we already got one there right now. And Dave just
They swarm pretty quick.
and then he
on
goes
him
out the back and down an alley, kind of tucks away,
and bails out.
barely gets away again.
Slippery guy, slippery little bastard.
He's a smart. He's a doctor, right? I guess. So that is that, and then okay. So then that leads to Richard calls Charles Nichols he's at the hotel, I think the Hilton or whatever, and they're like, he's like, I know who did it. It's Lentz. Lentz is the guy. He's like, Richard Lentz died in a car accident a year ago or whatever. He's like, oh shit, and then he has to go.
Right, they kind of floors his whole
Then he's
plan.
like, okay, I think he's like, Richard, can you prove that the drug Provasic was bullshit or whatever, not what Lentz said? And he's like, I think I can. He's like, tell Bones at the hospital to give me whatever I want to help me out. And he's like, sure thing. And then Samuel Gerard and Joey Pants come to the hotel and again running Charles Nichols. And the one guy, Charles Nichols, is like, oh shit, I better leave right now. He's like, Dr. Nichols. I love when he says Dr. Nichols.
Yeah.
He's so happy to see him. But obviously they're not.
In a very patronizing way.
And he's like, gentlemen, we've been down this road before, haven't we? I'm not going to say anything. He's like, okay, one quick question. Do you know the man in the photo? And they point to
Lentz.
the one-armed guy first. And he's like, no. And then before he leaves, he's like, okay, one last thing. Do you know this guy in the photo? He's like, I've never seen that man
in my life. And they know right away that's some bullshit.
They don't know right away. Newman
Later
finds
find it
out.
out,
He
yeah.
calls him. He's like, Lentz
Who's
died.
boss?
He
Yeah.
finds out, and he's like, and guess who's Lentz's boss was? Dr. Charles Nichols.
Yeah.
And then he know he lied to him. And of course, also Richard went to the hospital, got these samples from Bones, who's like this hospital employee who kind of, I don't know if he's like a janitor kind of thing.
They call it the gross lab. My sister actually was that at Mayo Clinic.
Okay.
So they do tissue samples. So she'd be the one doing the different tests on it, but he also store.
He's not a doctor. He's like the guy who keeps track of everything.
Storage,
and, like,
yeah. Tissue sample storage. Yeah.
And then Richard goes to see Jane Lynch.
Yeah.
Yes,
young Jane Lynch.
Young Jane Lynch.
Who's like his.
What's her name? Kathy?
Kath, yeah, he's like, yo, Kath, you beauty. And she's a doctor.
right.
And they look at the samples and they realize that the samples are not only tainted, that they're all from the same liver tissue.
No, they're all healthy, but it's all the same.
Oh, whatever.
one,
And
yeah.
they're all, like, basically, like, the results were manipulated. And that,
Because the surgery that he worked on, he's like, I know that sample because I
Yeah.
literally, like, I was there
and then
inside
that's
him,
when
like, checking it
we
out.
don't know yet, but Richard figures it out. That's Charles Nichols.
They've been swapping the samples.
Yeah, he's been swapping them
Because-
out, replacing his.
Because he's on the board of directors, he
his
has an
sam-
equity
yeah.
shareholder, you know,
Yes.
essentially. So he had a financial gain if this product goes well.
Yes, and then I like that call with Newman and Sam. He's like, Newman, we're gonna send a bunch of cops. Make sure they turn the place inside out. You got it, Sam, and don't let them give me shit about your ponytail either. He's like, no problem. All right, Sam.
Giving them business.
So then Richard leaves Cook County Hospital. It's being stalked by Frederick Sykes, who has I don't know if he did or someone. The fire department came and created a distraction so he could leave his house because they're sitting on it.
Right.
So he could escape. He goes the same way Richard went, out the back, out the alley. And now he's stalking Richard, or waiting for Richard to come out of the hospital. If he thinks he's there, but he's not sure.
Right.
And then he sees
on
him.
the
He's like,
hunt.
oh, wait, never mind. I see him. Here he is.
I got a visual. Yeah.
Follows him to the L, the guy on the L. And then I love this scene. Yeah, Richard's on the L, and the guy's reading the newspaper across from him, and he's on the cover, obviously, of Most Wanted Man back in Chicago. And he looks at the
Slowly
paper,
gets up,
and he looks at Richard, and he slowly gets up, and there's a cop. And he tells the cop that it's Richard Kimball. But
And
before
who's
he,
that actor again? Who's the
Neil
cop?
Flynn.
Yeah, Neil Flynn. Yeah.
Talk about that, guys.
Yes, sir. And then right before he does that, Sykes is on the train. He points the gun at Richard's like, all right,
we're
Doc,
gonna keep
this is
walking,
my
yeah.
stop or whatever. It's like, mine too. But then cop interferes.
Kimball!
Sykes kills the cop. Richard, it causes a distraction enough for Richard to pull the emergency stop. The whole car slams forward.
Right. Electric brakes
Richard gets
engaged.
disarms Sykes because he only has one arm, kind of easily, honestly. Like again, but he has one arm.
I didn't talk-
Punches him, handcuffs him to the pole in the subway. And
Right.
just, you missed your stop. I love that line. It's a good one. And then checks on the cop. The cop's dead. He takes Sykes' weapon, takes the cop's weapon, he bashes the window, jumps out the train onto the wooden platform. People see him. He empties the two guns into the mailbox and then goes to the Hilton where Charles Nichols is
Confronts
giving
him.
the speech
Keynote.
on Provasic,
Yep.
which is the whole thing that caused this whole thing, the drug,
Right.
Kevin McGregor, everything. And Samuel Gerard, and he's kind of figured out too that they got the phone records from
Right, they called Sykes,
and that
he
Sykes was called from Kimball's car phone the night of the murder, and if you recall in the beginning, his car was loaned out to Charles Nichols, so he didn't have the
No,
car.
it was to Lentz, right?
No, it was
No,
Nichols.
Charles
It was Charles
Nichols.
Nichols. And so Nichols set this whole thing up. That's how he got into the house. He had the key because he had the car thing, the whole thing. He made a car, whatever. And that's when we're like, now we're at the Hilton. Richard is, Charles Nichols giving the speech on it. Richard walks in, and the cops are following him in there. They think he's a cop killer, so they're trying to kill him. Samuel Gerard and them flip a Yui golden thing, and then you're like, that's my man right there. He's like, he's ours now. He's like, if you're smart, you'll stand up right. He's like, arrest us. I love that. And he just goes in there, and then so now at least I say me and Woj do it. The Charles Nichols and Richard Kimball confrontation in the speech ballroom. We'll call it that.
And you want to be Kimball?
I'll be Kimball, sure.
Yeah. Charles Nichols, just so you know, throughout this whole movie, this is a German guy.
He's like, European. Just do European.
His name is Gerard
Drunk Crab.
Yeah. His accent goes in and out. And Christy brought it up to me. She was like, why does he sound so weird?
You never give up, Richard. You never give up.
I'm like, he's kind of going in and out of an American, but like American with a European accent, and then he goes like real American at times.
Yeah.
It's like, so
I think he's Dutch or something.
So, Richard, I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of a speech.
You almost got away with it, didn't you? I know all about it, and I can prove it.
Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Richard Kimball doesn't feel well, obviously. So if you'll just go on with your dessert and coffee. Richard, do you mind stepping aside and we'll just talk? Okay, so I'll be back in a second.
And they both like gesture like to move to the side.
Oh yeah, off stage. Sure.
And then as he's walking off the stage, there's still like you can see tension.
Confronted, yeah.
And he's talking. He's like, "You changed the samples, didn't you? Huh? You switched the samples after Lentz died.
Yeah.
After Lentz died, you were the only one who had access. You switched the samples, the pathology reports." And then like Charles Nichols goes to, like put his hand on him like as a gesture, and he shoves it away like pissed off. Did you kill Lentz too, huh? Did you? And then that's when Charles Nichols walks out of the room.
Yep.
He's like, and then Richard's talking to the whole crowd in the ballroom. He falsified his research so that RDU-90 could be approved and Devil McGregor could give you Provasic.
Yeah.
And the way he says it's great. And then that leads to Richard and
them fighting
in his room. First of all, he gets a chair shot from behind from Charles Nichols, like wrestling style, breaks the chair over his back. You never give up, Richard, do you? You never give up. He starts kind of, at first, like, Charles Nichols is kind of, like, semi-kicking his ass. But then Richard kind of, like, just snaps into it and, like, beats the fuck out of him, kind of. Like, he punches him a couple times, throws him outside into the roof. And that's when we got the Chicago police, because they think he's a cop killer.
Yeah.
And the guy says, if you got a shot, you take him out. You kill him. He's like,
that guy didn't have much of a shot. He was just unloading towards
Rossetti.
Yeah.
Rossetti, yeah. My great uncles.
So like the
go.
great
Woj's,
scene you got,
uncles
you got the spotlight on them as they're fighting, and then the sniper's shooting at him, and then same when Gerard makes his way up there. They're going through the hotel. Newman's in the security office. The rest of them are making their way throughout the building. He makes his way to the roof. He's like, Newman, tell the helicopter, get the helicopter there. Why? Because I don't want to get shot. He's like, Chicago PD, there is a U.S. Marshal on the roof. Hold your fire.
Yeah, back off, yeah.
And then they start fighting. They wind Charles Nichols and Richard, and they wind up going through the glass,
shaft.
through the elevator. Richard ends up on top of the elevator. Nichols ends up through the elevator. Yep. And then there's a cool thing where like Samuel Gerard and Cosmo are looking down at them. He's like, don't shoot. And it's like you see, like, tell me where the elevator goes. They wind up Nichols stops it at the 5th floor, which is the laundry floor. And then they both, as the elevator's about to close, Richard's bloody hand just gets it in time, makes its way out. So now he's looking for him in the laundry room. They figure out they're in the laundry room, obviously. So Richard,
the employees,
Richard, Cosmo, and then Poole and Biggs all head their way there. Biggs and Poole clear out the staff. Richard and Cosmo enter the laundry room and do a search for them. And they're both not really finding anybody. You're kind of just seeing like he's looking this way, he's looking that way.
Cat and mouse, yeah.
Richard sees this one black dude having like a cigarette like by the window, and then while this is happening, Samuel Gerard is like, Richard Kimball. Actually, I have it if you want me to read it.
Go ahead.
Sure.
He's basically saying, hey, you're not going anywhere.
Like,
you're fucked.
Stop running. I know what happened. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Dr. Richard Kimball. There's no way out of here, Richard. The entire building is locked down. Give it up, Richard. You don't have any time. Chicago Police Department thinks you're a cop killer, and they will shoot you on sight. Richard, I know you're innocent. I know about Frederick Sykes. I know about Dr. Charles Nichols, Richard. He borrowed your car the night of your wife's murder. He had keys. No forced entry, Richard. He telephoned Sykes from your car, Richard. Richard, give it up. Richard, I'm either lying or I'm going to shoot you. What do you think? And then as that's happening,
he grabs him out of the pipe.
Cosmo gets hit by this like iron
I-beam that's on
shaft beam thing.
It's like an I-beam on a
So
yeah,
he gets knocked the fuck out. It hits him in the forehead.
Takes an I-beam to the face.
Nichols takes his gun.
Right, so now he's armed.
And Richard gets a pipe, like a heavy pipe he drags.
Yeah, you hear the pipe.
And then Samuel Gerard's like, give it up, Richard. It's time to stop running.
Right,
and as he says that, Nichols is about to shoot him from behind.
Right.
Because he knows
he could easily blame
if he kills him and Richard, then there's no, they don't know maybe what happened.
Right, and then he could say, hey, this dude shot him, and then I got the gun from him, and I shot him.
But before he shoots him, Richard takes the pipe, hits Charles Nichols in the back of the kneecap, and then hits his arm, hits the gun out of his hand, and then, he's unconscious now or whatever.
Him,
And then he holds the gun at Richard, and Richard drops the pipe, and then as soon as he gets him, he puts the gun down. He's like, all right, Richard's like, they killed my wife. He's like, I know, Richard. I know it, but it's over. I'm glad. I need the rest. The way he says it. And then they escort him out of the building in cuffs. The Chicago police clearly are still pissed off at Kimball. They still think he did it, the way they're looking at him.
Oh, yeah. They
Rossetti
got
especially.
daggers, yeah.
And the local media are interviewing them like, you have a one-armed man suspect. You think it's the one-armed man now? How many one-armed men in the city? At this point, there could be many one-armed men. Like the lines they say are kind of funny.
Some of those were good, yeah.
And then you get the nice moment at the end. So he's escorting him out. They get into the back of the cop car. He's like, give me those things.
Cuffs,
Takes the cuffs off, throws them in the front of Richard. He's like, give me that thing. Gives him an ice pack. Here you go, Richard. He's like, I thought you didn't care. I don't.
Yeah, don't let anyone
Don't
know.
tell anybody.
Don't tell anyone.
And then they do a book a U-turn out to the city with the lights, and it's like a typical
I knew it.
action, like end of a movie, like send off.
Yeah, it was good. It was like Drive almost.
So
before Drive.
that's the movie.
That's the movie.
Yeah, we covered it.
Pretty fucking kick ass.
No,
We
no,
absolutely
it's kick-ass,
covered it.
bro.
Okay, if anybody has any quotes they want to go that I didn't touch on,
Sure.
go for it.
I love looking at you in a tux, and he's just like, I feel like a waiter or something.
Yeah. I like the back and forth with him and Newman in the beginning. He's like, what are you doing? I'm thinking. Well, think me up a cup of coffee and a chocolate donut with some of those little sprinkles on top, will you? As long as you're thinking.
I like it. I think it's the detectives where they go like, what does he do? It's a vascular surgeon. What the hell is that?
Yeah, someone who makes a lot more money than you do.
Yeah.
They have the thing, or after Gerard kills him, he gets like a call, I'm assuming, from his boss. He's like,
Tell him I did
well,
it.
sir, Mr. Copeland was a bad man. He's going to shoot one of my kids. Well, sir, you can blame me. I'm the one that shot him. I don't know. I think I got number.
You know what I'll say? I know we didn't touch on it, or can we at least the cinematic, or is that later? Cinematic
That's later.
shots? Okay.
I got one more. Biggs is great in this movie. If they can dye the river green today, why can't they dye it blue there 364 days of the year?
All right, so keep in mind right now, historical relevance, the Chicago River used to smell and look like absolute dog shit.
Doesn't now.
It kind of still does, but not as bad. Not as bad. I'm just saying engineers have helped fix that problem a little bit, but it was horrible during the 80s, early 90s. So.
All right. I'm done with quotes.
This is
got one more.
So fucking funny. So Sykes, as the cops are pulling up to his house,
Oh, yeah.
he's like, what the hell is this? A trench coat convention? What the hell is going
he's
on?
like, everybody knows my name here. Who are you guys?
Cops.
And
Yeah.
Sykes is also an ex-cop,
Yeah.
so he's kind of...
He's like, I sure hope you're a cop. I'm not, Mr. Sykes. I'm a U.S. Marshal. You had a break-in, Mr. Sykes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good on quotes.
Cool. So I'll start with.
I'm sorry. Not a quote from the movie,
Hey, no.
but as we were talking about Ace Ventura before the podcast, spawned. I would imagine the Ace Ventura quote. It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And they also, while we're mentioning that, Curb Your Enthusiasm is an episode where they do a parody of it as well.
Nice,
the One-Armed
nice.
Man. It's great.
Okay.
They do a ton of that, even on
yeah.
Family Guy and some other things.
Oh, for sure.
Like The Fugitive could be found, I think, across all comedic platforms.
I didn't kill my wife. I want my family back.
And then even still, the jumping off, like I think Stewie and Brian do that in one of the things they jump off the dam.
Let's get into the characters. I'm
Yeah.
going to start, first of all, let's start with Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones. When you watch this movie, when you come out of it, who wins there? I go Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee.
I think he won the supporting actor award. I think it was warranted. I think he just steals the show. And granted, obviously, it's a way better movie with Harrison Ford in it. But they did a sequel without him. I still liked it. I thought it was pretty good. So I think
I gotta
that's
check it out still.
Can I tell you why everybody goes Tommy Lee? It's because the fugitive is on the run. He's not talking to people.
Yeah.
He's like once it gets to the second half of the movie, I could argue Harrison Ford as he's interacting with all these people and he's like doing this.
That's a fair point.
But when you're on the run as a fugitive, you're not talking to
You're right.
people. You're just basically by yourself. So when Tommy Lee can interact with people, especially the guys on his team, and
he gets great lines and
so fucking
his timing is great.
so much better.
His attitude, he just you believe him. So we go Tommy, you go Tommy
All
Lee as well,
Tommy
Bobby.
Lee.
Or?
I'm saying Tommy Lee, but to his point though, I'd give it more like a 55, 45 type
It's
of feel.
not-
It's not
it's close.
It's not significant,
yeah.
but
I'm
he
going
does steal
70,
the show.
70-30.
I might go
Maybe
I
maybe
might be there
closer
with you.
to 60-40,
I'm
but
gonna
I go
70-30.
at least 65, 35. Yeah.
But like I said, I think they both add great elements to it. Like they don't detract or take away. That's
So-
why I'm saying like the Kurt
Yeah.
Russell, Doc Holliday
Yes.
thing. It's like they both do different things,
Yeah.
and it's just a PB and
So
J.
outside of them, let's go with the Steen supporting people.
All right.
So
Pants.
I
Baby.
think Joey Pants is probably.
Come on, yeah.
But if we're not,
Newman's not bad
I
either.
say, if we're not mentioning Joey Pants, I like Daniel Roebuck as Biggs.
Biggs is great.
I think this time watching it around, I really appreciated his lines and performance. I thought he was really great. Woj, do you have anybody you want to throw in?
I mean, Joey Pants is actually, I think, way better in U.S. Marshals.
I think he is too.
they
I think he
give-
is too.
I think they give him a lot more.
Oh, so
to
he's in it
work
too.
with
I
there.
gotta
The
check
whole
that
crew
out.
comes back.
I gotta check it out then.
Yeah, I would probably go with Andreas Katsoulas
One-armed man.
as a one-armed man.
Okay.
I think he's
does a real
pretty
good job.
good as like
Evil motherfucker.
well, like a guy who's like kind of busting balls, like, hey, I'm an ex-cop. Like, I like that aspect of it, where like he's like, I'm not guilty. He's like probably like a serial murderer and gun for hire type of shit. So I like that aspect of him, kind of playing it up where there's 30 cops in his house. Like,
Yeah, and I think besides those three, we've Ron Dean and Joseph Kosela, whatever, as the cops.
Yaska, yeah,
I think they
whatever.
do a great job of like just feeling authentic and like being those detectives that you would
Sure.
run into in
Who
Chicago.
was the nurse? I thought she did a great job.
Julianne Moore?
Julianne Moore did a fantastic job for her small part in this. Like, if they gave her another like 10 or 15 seconds of dialogue,
Yeah.
I would have been fine with that. I thought that at least when I watched this movie again, like she had a presence to it, but like it was only short felt.
Yeah.
I easily think they could have added something more if they wanted to.
All right, so let's
There it
go
is.
to that guy. I got
Come on, the guy
8
from-
of them. Or I don't know, possibles. Well, I already
Office
said,
Space. That's
so,
it.
Yeah,
for
he's
me.
the guy. Richard Reel, of course, and then said Ron Dean, said Joseph Kosela, Otis Wilson. I mentioned the Bears player. Nick Searcy, the sheriff, Rollins.
Oh, okay.
He's in like Justified and
I do love
a
Justin.
couple other things. He's been in. I think Daniel Roebuck has Biggs. He's in that Disney movie Quince, or like the Disney Channel original. He's like the
Quince.
dad. He's also the voice of Grease in the Jedi Fallen Order. The
Oh,
little
no
alien
kidding.
guy.
All right.
Neil Flynn, obviously from The Middle and Major
Scrubs.
League.
Scrubs.
and
I don't
Scrubs.
consider him that guy. He's been in too much stuff now.
no, I mean, again, you have to keep in context of
Timing, I guess.
when this movie
Well,
came
at that
out.
time, he certainly was. at
when he
least,
came-
yeah.
when
Yeah,
this
he was
movie
that
came
guy.
out,
then-
and then even now, he's not like a well-known household name.
Like,
He's
oh, it's the guy
still
it's the dad from The Middle.
Dad from the Middle.
It's the guy from the janitor from Scrubs. Yeah.
Like that's which also, if you have not watched Scrubs,
Go check
watch
it out.
Scrubs
You'll love
just
it.
simply for that one episode where JD is then watching The Fugitive, and then the janitor pops up and he's like, "Janitor, Kimball."
Oh, shit, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's fucking
Yeah, no,
absolutely great. It's fucking phenomenal.
They do. Yeah, they do a shout out.
I
to
think the winner, though, obviously, if it's not Joey Pants, it's probably Richard Reel or Nick Searcy, I think, or Ron Dean. I think they're all like
you
could
can,
go-
you can
Jane
get-
Lynch is up there. Yeah.
Jane Lynch, young Jane Lynch.
Yep.
I also I don't know what he's from, but the judge who
Andy Romano.
sentenced him to be killed looked familiar, and also
Andy Romano.
kind of the security guy, or I'm sorry, the prison guard when Richard leaves Clive Driscoll. He looks at him like, "What the fuck? This guy came in for
Right.
like 2 seconds. That's weird." I don't know what he looked kind of familiar too, but I don't have anybody else. You guys
No,
good
that's
on that?
Solid.
Okay.
Andy Romano, this guy, that was the judge.
Yep.
So kind of I feel like we're kind of getting away from cast here, so I'll just mention it kind of up front, or right now. So director Andrew Davis. You said a lot of connections to Under Siege, so director of Under Siege. He also did The Guardian, Holes, Collateral Damage. Fucking great ones.
You did holes.
Writer, Jeb Stewart, wrote screenplay for Die Hard. David Twohy,
Okay.
another writer, G.I. Jane, and all of the Riddick, Chronicles of Riddick, all that shit. And then Roy Huggins did U.S. Marshals, which that definitely tracks. But again, a lot of these guys, like, there's connections to Under Siege. There's, which I'll be honest, Under Siege Still fucking love that movie. I love a good
It's great.
Steven Seagal flick.
Well, he's not
where he. Well, I'm just saying. When
I get it. I get
he's
it.
doing crazy shit.
It's his best movie.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like a action comedy.
Tommy Lee makes that movie great.
So
And Gary Busey's also awesome.
Gary
Busey. Yeah, that lunatic.
Any recasting you guys want to mention?
Yeah, I got a couple recasting.
All
You got
right.
some?
Hit me.
So there's like I don't know if he's a chief of police, but he's
Flippy.
he's a higher up when they're interviewing Kimball.
Yes, and he's like Bookham or whatever. That
Yeah,
guy.
the Bookham
They get
guy.
an older guy for that. He's too young.
Well, I think could have been older, but I also just think that it's a missed opportunity. I like Danny Glover. I think he could have easily done it. He's a little bit more
How
seasoned.
about Arlie Ermy?
Arlie Ermy could have worked.
Great.
I
Are
also
you talking
had
Glover just from the whole? What is it?
Danny Glover.
No, I know that. I'm saying he was in Lethal Weapon. Is that kind of like just trying to grab?
Well, I think
him?
he's just saying he wants a more seasoned.
Okay, I get
Like
it. All right,
I
I wanna-
because I had the same thought. Woj, like the guy who's like Bookham, like he's younger than detectives in the room.
right. No, that didn't
Usually
check.
the guy who says Bookham is either the
chief or
ADA
someone,
sergeant.
or
Yeah,
the
senior chief.
lieutenant or
someone
captain.
with someone with some.
If anything, it should have been the black guy with the mustache. He looked kind of like a black Arlie Ermy. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Henry, right?
No, not Henry. Not the young guy. The
No,
older
other one.
guy.
Yeah. I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Okay. What do you got?
Nah, I'm gonna save it. I'm good. I got something that's more for another category.
Okay, go ahead.
So we don't have a needle drop or
Okay, so this is what I got.
but the score is fantastic. I will
But
say.
there's two songs on the soundtrack list.
Oh.
The Thrill Is Gone by B.B. King. Never heard it. And Tahiti Tahiti by Voyage.
Is that the one they play in the fundraiser?
Great name for a band. I have no idea. I've never heard these
That's the only
songs.
song they play. It's like dun, 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 dun,
Could be
dun.
Tahiti
Could be.
Tahiti.
Other than that, it's just like the score basically,
Right,
Which
so
I think is
what-
a great score. I
I
think
mean-
parts of it to me kind of sounded like the Terminator a little bit. Like
So I have it sounds like Warehouse Rock, which is a very popular 90s action kind of insert where it's like a lot of like drums and like kind of like almost chain sounds. It's like
well,
Like Stomp.
it's got like guitars and stuff too. That kind of like I think it is good at like ratcheting up the tense part where it's like
Mm-hmm.
or it's like they're running or like they just discovered a clue or something. Or I think it's very fitting
Scooby
for the
doing
movie.
it. Yeah. No,
I
but
think-
like, not a whole lot.
I
on
believe
soundtrack.
James Newton Howard did the score. He's a great composer.
Okay, cool.
Look
What
at
is
that.
what else has he done?
Ton of things I don't know off the top of my head, but I
Google
know.
it up for
Yeah.
our fans. There you go.
Anyway, most cinematic shot. I have like a handful, but you want
Top Down from Chicago is mine.
When he's up in his office too, and he kind of like leans against the glass, and that like I was like, because you could tell like it's getting to him, and it's like it hasn't broke him yet,
Yeah.
but he's like, damn, slippery son of a bitch. Like he's not making mistakes yet.
I think Richard jumping off the bus before he gets hit.
Yep.
Also him jumping down to
Off
avoid the derailed train. Richard jumping off the dam. Iconic scene shot. I love it when we talked about Gerard pulls his backup gun. He like rips it open and he kind of like holds the weapon out and the camera kind of just focuses on the gun and he's like moving forward with it, but it stays like on the gun. I like that. There's like a fire truck POV shot when they're headed to Sykes neighborhood. We're on the back of the truck and it's just
Yeah.
the firemen.
Yeah,
I like
you're right.
That,
That was
one.
that was a cool.
And then, like I said, the closing shot of Gerard and his team, like in the whole thing, just
Goodbye.
wrapping up the end credits, pulling the U-turn, going out in the city, and all the people and the press and everything. All those were good. Okay.
Good. Next category.
Spin-off prequel sequel. Now, obviously, there's a sequel. U.S. Marshals. Bobby hasn't seen it.
I'll go check it out.
Check it out. I'll just talk about it right here briefly since we're on this part of it. I love it. I know, like, some people, they're kind of mixed on it because I think, obviously, there was no Harrison Ford, but I think Wesley Snipes does a good job.
Fantastic.
I like Wesley
and
Snipes.
I think
He's
he
intense.
brings a different element to the movie and kind of an awesome element because he is a former like CIA type of guy where he's got training and he can actually shoot people and disarm them and fight. So like it makes the chase scenes a little more exciting because he can do more stunts and more things. So and it's different from Richard Kimball where he's not just like a normal guy. He's like actually like he's in the game, so to speak.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's like it brings that element to it where it makes it different, but also work on its own way. So I would say,
I got some picking notes about Richard Kimball's athletic prowess.
Oh, for
save
sure.
later. U.S. Marshals was just too obvious for me. I put down kind of didn't really flesh this one out too much, but I could see this tied to Enemy of the State in some fashion.
It's got that same similar tone.
Where like
Yeah,
Richard
kind of.
Kimball could have been somehow connected to something. Obviously, they go with the medical aspect and all that, but I'm just saying, Enemy of the State, where like there's a team searching for him, I think easily could have.
I had a third movie.
Go ahead.
So it would be a sequel to U.S. Marshals. Now, obviously, would have done it back then and not now because they're too old now. But like some type of like Prison Break type movie where like Samuel Gerard is
There's
wrongfully.
a TV show called Prison
Well, I
Break.
love Prison Break, of course, love it. But like Samuel Gerard's wrongfully convicted.
Okay.
And he's in prison. He's got to like escape, but then when he escapes, he's got to like prove his innocence. But he's got experience being a U.S. Marshal, so he could like he knows how they think and like what to that kind of thing. Like I think that could work. I don't know what you would call it. I think I had two titles: Innocent Until Proven Guilty or Guilty Until Proven Innocent, depending
there
on
you
which
go.
way you wanted to
Nice.
go there.
Okay.
Wait, so we were on spin-off prequel
Yes,
sequels?
yes.
I'm sorry. The Enemy of the State is some for Switcheroo
Okay.
or
Okay,
how
so you
to
did your
be
switcheroo.
interviewed.
That's fine.
I did have a spin-off sequel prequels. I had Kimball just like running away and not coming back to prove his innocence. Like he's in a
Oh,
doctor.
like a different
So like
timeline.
like
They're different.
Witness, or he goes to like live with the Amish or something.
Yeah, but like a doctor abroad, and
Yeah.
then basically being like somehow either Tommy Lee Jones, like Samuel Gerard, then
Yeah.
tries to find him
No, you're right.
abroad or whatever, and he's just on the run there, or
Yeah.
something where
Marshals
he's
could go
not,
anywhere they
he's
want.
just saying, I can't go back to, which I think honestly would have been the smarter
I
thing.
think
It's
there is
just-
something like when I was watching the movie that works with that angle where it's like Richard Kimball, a guilty man, but he's helping people like on the DL kind of. He's got this skill set that people don't know about, but he's using it to better, while he's also dealing with his own stuff. It's a cool idea. I like that, thing. I think this definitely you could make The Fugitive like a mini series if you want to do like an 8-part, like HBO.
Oh yeah, easy.
And you could expand on things
like a 5 or 7 like
and
mini series.
it'd be a perfect. I mean, they have done that obviously with stuff like, you said Prison Break. The first 2 seasons are basically like The Fugitive, and so.
So I got a prequel on this one, and I think this one would actually land. Obviously, you have Tommy Lee Jones, Gerard, who's he says I don't bargain. I'm curious that maybe he was more of a novice as a U.S. Marshal, and he saw maybe a superior of his try to do something with a little bit more calmness and end up getting his superior killed because he tried to handle it more of like, all right, let's slowly disarm, and the guy just goes nuts. And so I want to see the point where it made him jaded, where he's like, fuck that, I'm going to just put 2 in him. Like, I want to see that transition because at some point he was a young buck. He had to learn. And like almost like Qui-Gon Jinn, seeing him get like, cut down by Darth Maul. So same concept, but
R.I.P.
yeah.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
All right, that's it for me. I don't have really any prequels or sorry, the spinoffs. I can't think of any.
Okay, for a switcheroo, do you have a switcheroo?
I put my Switcheroo as Enemy
I
of
know
the
you
State.
did.
So,
No, not really. The only thing that I could possibly see as a drop in is I think George Clooney as his doctor. What is that? ER. That was right around the same time. So if you wanted to maybe see him in passing as like an OR or something like that, just I wouldn't do an actual like switcheroo or a crossover, but like maybe just a scene where you have some people from ER because that was big in the 90s too.
So yeah, when I was watching the movie, I'm going more of like a swap type of deal here.
All right.
I couldn't help but think because we did Heat, right?
Yep.
That Samuel Gerard's crew of cops is better than Pacino's crew of cops, and like, what if we put Pacino and De Niro in this movie and flip the other 2 guys to Heat? I just thought it'd be interesting. Like, I don't know who you'd want to be Pacino to be the be Kimball or to be the cop or whatever. But like, I love how it is. I'm just saying, like, I had an interesting.
I can
like,
see that. Okay.
Like, because like I kept thinking, like, man, because we talked about specifically about how Al Pacino's cop crew is kind of a letdown in that movie where they don't really like compared to like De Niro's crew where he's got the support like Kilmer and Sizemore and all those guys. But I think that this crew, even though they're like besides Joey Pants not really well known, do a good job and are like more
resourceful. They help out.
I mean, you got to also point out that you have Tom Wood as Newman in this one, and in U.S. Marshals they get Judge Reinhold, I believe.
That sounds
as the
no.
Yeah, they get Judge Reinhold to play basically the same.
No, he comes back. Newman's same guy.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay. Where's Judge Reinhold in?
Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay, maybe
1,
that's
2,
what-
3.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking
Yeah,
of.
they look very similar.
Either way,
Yeah.
the Newman character, even though he's like very green, it is something where you're like, it's a missed opportunity right there. Could have had him interact with the seasoned U.S. Marshal, Joey Pants being the comedy. You could have had the woman cop be like, I don't know, like interacting and fucking doing shit, and then Biggs kind of Biggs, right? Biggs has that kind of like, hey, I'm at kind of the same level with you. I can give you shit.
Yeah.
So like they had the pieces there. They just didn't use them, I think, effectively.
I think they use them more effectively in U.S. Marshals, like
Yes,
you said.
definitely so.
Because it's more focused on them and not as much on. There's no Richard. I mean, it's Wesley Snipes, but he takes more of a backseat in that movie
Yes,
compared to what
correct,
Harrison
correct.
Ford does in The Fugitive.
Sure.
So let's go picking Nits time. I got quite a bit.
Yeah,
actually.
me too.
So I'm just gonna just rattle them off, and
Go ahead.
if I miss something, you want to just
Sure. Go ahead.
okay. So first of all, I know why this happened, but Julianne Moore is given 4th billing in this movie, and she's in like 2 scenes.
Yeah.
Right.
Now the reason for that is they deleted a whole arc of her character where I guess she and Richard were going to get together and she was going to help him.
Sure.
And I read this on IMDb, so I thought that was
gotcha.
interesting. Kind of a picking, not like a big thing, but I clocked it. Thought it was
Gotcha.
interesting.
Gotcha.
Okay, it's not in order, by the way. What ID does Richard use to get in the Cook County Jail to see Clive Driscoll? He has his wallet the whole time, but when the movie starts, he's in prison yellow. He doesn't have his ID or anything. So whose ID did he get? Was it the mechanic who had in the overalls?
I'll just extrapolate is that there's a good portion of this film where it's very unknown how he's paying for things, how he's getting around.
The one point he gets money from Charles Nichols, and he's a
Sure.
rich guy. So let's say he gave him like $500.
Right. That can make you. That
That
could last. in the
especially in
quite a bit.
1992.
Sure.
Yeah.
What I'm saying though
Before
is that a lot of the ID things
Yeah.
and getting
Yeah.
from place to place, it's like, how are you doing that prior to Nichols helping you out?
Now, it would have made sense. For example, he stole the janitor's ID. If he stole his wallet too, or something like that. But even then,
Hey, he's not looking like a
Yeah, but he took his
Desondo.
pictures though, and like I'm just saying.
but like,
if-
whose ID is he using to sign into the jail? We don't know.
Sure. I
It's
got
not
you.
his ID.
no, but it shows him manipulating different IDs, so it wouldn't be hard to grab an
but
ID.
dude,
and
you're
put-
going into a jail. They're gonna like look at that
No,
shit.
not really.
I
Not
don't
really.
know.
You have to sign it, and they got to say, okay, here's Joe.
No, just
you know,
moving on.
Leota. You know,
All right.
okay, got it. Whatever.
So the one guard says, Richard Reel pulls the guy. Says he pulls the guy out of the train. Right? He claims to have done that, but then they don't find the guy until the next day. Wouldn't if you pulled him out, you would know where he is, where you put him.
Okay.
That kind of like just like obviously they said his story was bullshit. Eventually they found it out.
Yeah.
But right away, that's got to tell you that his story is bullshit.
I got a problem with they don't mention it. They maybe mention it very briefly, but like they don't mention Copeland at all, or it's not very prevalent. And then in one scene, I get it, it's a red herring.
They're trying to fake you out. Yeah.
Sure, but I'm saying like they don't even mention that he's alive. They could have mentioned like, oh,
we know
looking.
he's alive as an audience.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying like,
But it's gotta be
where is
readable.
the fucking like just the general counting of like
Well-
how many inmates were on the bus?
Well, they did say that, and they were asking about it.
But
in
then,
that scene.
but then again, it's like a simple counting of things. Like if there's 4 inmates on the bus, where are the 4 shackles?
Well, I think
where are the 4 bodies?
I think that again, it's used for the fake out purposes. They specifically don't mention it to throw you off, to be like, oh, because they say the woman picked him up and we see him get the hitchhike.
right.
And
You can just mention though that hey, we're looking for 4. We have 3,
yeah.
and then that's it.
I
You
mean,
don't
that
need
is
to
their job to look for all the suspects, but they're focusing specifically on the
That's what I'm
high profile Richard Kimball.
It's just like not mention that like
Yeah.
there's another guy out there, and then they're just like, hey, we're busting him for.
How did Richard not get found when the landlady's house was raided and the son was arrested? They didn't bust in the house
Didn't
and like
go in every
for
door?
evidence and just in general like they.
Right.
Well, they might have gone upstairs because he had the unit downstairs.
Dude, even so, they're gonna investigate the house for more drugs or paraphernalia
sure.
or money.
Right, no, but if you have a warrant, it might be for Unit A. They can't touch Unit B.
But that's part of her unit. It's her basement.
It's just the fact that like he's staring out the window as a raid's going on. You would think the cop would just be
also
like,
the cops
"What's
we posted up out there. even when they leave to
Maybe
like
there for a
wait
while,
till the
yeah.
detectives come
Right.
or
Right.
whoever.
You're right.
So-
But maybe it was just hey,
They
they
just gloss over like he gets out of there.
But maybe, like I said, maybe the
A lot of
instructions
shoddy
on the
detective
team.
work.
Yeah.
No, but the
Cop
instruction
work.
of the team might have been, hey, you need to get these guys, bring them in. That's all your job.
It's kind of a similar picking up again. Where did Richard get the wallet when he goes into the train tunnel after he jumped off the dam to buy the hair dye to use? It seems like inside the tunnel bathroom. We don't really know, but the way they shoot it, that's what it seems like.
But he's a smart guy. He could probably lift it off of someone or
But
pickpocket
he
someone.
went into a tunnel. There's no hair dye. Was it like a vending machine in there or
No,
something?
after he
Or-
got, like, there's some time lapse with him, like,
So you're saying they didn't show him he went to a store or something?
yeah, he might have passed
And
someone
maybe
and
it's in his pocket.
Right, and
And we just didn't see it till he went in the bathroom.
You're right. Like I said, I think we got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's smart. If someone maybe just, like, left the
Now,
wallet in their car.
This is a bigger one for me that I notice every time I watch this.
Hmm.
Where did Richard's coat go during the parade if he took it off to blend in? He
yeah.
takes the coat off, and then the next shot is him in just the blue hoodie.
But he could have just dropped it.
But they would see the hoodie on the coat on the ground and notice it. He should have like gave it to somebody or like if anything held it in a ball in front of him and then like because the idea makes sense.
You're right.
He's taking off the coat to blend in.
Right.
But where does the coat go? It has to go somewhere.
Maybe we missed that when they flip back to his scene. He might have
Either
just,
there should have been a part where Tommy Lee finds the coat or somebody.
Sure.
Or
He dumps
we
it
see
maybe
him
in
throw the coat somewhere, or because he couldn't do it from where he's at because he's in the middle of the street, right?
Right.
So he has to hold on to it, or he has to give it to someone.
right.
Or if he drops it, they're
You're
gonna,
right. Okay.
they're gonna
I
see
think that's
it.
a small thing, but okay. The
It's-
huge glaring thing for me, and this is the picking it. I was just like, if I'm Nichols, guess what? I'm going to help the police get this guy. If I'm any way implicated, I'm going to make sure this guy gets caught and thrown right back in jail. Right?
I mean, Nichols, I wouldn't imagine Nichols would be a guy, even though he knows that Kimball is smart, that he'd be like, Kimball figured it all out.
I wouldn't let him
Like,
even have that
I
chance.
I think a smart guy would have gone like, well, Nickel, like he could have put together that I had the key and I may be implicated, but like the whole plot of Devlin McGregor and
being
falsifying
able to,
the
Maybe that's
records and stuff like
overshooting,
that.
but still.
I don't think that Nichols could have put that Kimball onto that track.
Like, give him that much credit.
No.
But the reality is, if I'm ever like if it's even 1% of a chance, I'm helping the cops. You're going right back to jail.
Yeah, it would
That's
have probably made more sense.
You're right.
What else you got, Ryan?
So I have the big one overarching of the movie, which kind of I think gets into what you're talking about. Why did he kill his wife and not just kill Richard instead? Why did he kill the wife to set him up? Why wouldn't he just kill Richard? Or was it a mistake? Was it that
He was
he
supposed to
didn't know
kill
he was going
both of
to? He
them?
didn't know he was going to get called to surgery, but it seems like he did because Lentz was supposed to go. So it's like, okay, did Richard get called and he didn't expect that, or like killing the wife and framing Richard could go wrong, but if you just kill Richard, then you end the problem right there. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
there's
but that puts heat on people that he's worked with. So maybe, like I said,
Well, not necessarily. It could just be a break-in. What if he has him kill the wife and Richard?
I
I
mean,
think
that
the intent was he was supposed to.
that's the obvious thing.
Yeah.
Is that you kill the wife, kill Richard. Obviously, there's a little bit of there's not a great communication there because it's like Nichols, if you're setting the whole thing up, you should have tabs on when Richard's there and go like, hey, he's going to surgery. He might be home at a certain point or whatever.
like
Make sure you finish part
Well, he did
A
call.
first.
He called him at 7:30 to let him know that they were leaving, or that they're at the party now and they'll be coming home. Let's say the next few hours or whatever. But I'm curious. Like, did he know that Alex Lentz had? Well, it seems like an emergency. So how would he know that? Like, did he know that Richard was going to call to surgery, or did that plan backfire?
Wrinkle in
He was going to kill Richard, and then he wasn't there, so he's like, okay, well, I'll just kill the wife.
I think the
and-
plan was to kill Richard initially.
Yeah.
Wife is there, goes after her, not as clean as he would have liked, and then Richard. Also, big glaring thing: a one-armed man as a hitman.
Yeah. And
Jesus Christ.
And the police interviewed him, and they didn't think anything of it, even though he worked for Devlin McGregor. And
All these
I
connections.
mean, I guess he said he had witnesses that put him on
he
at
said I
the
have
party.
15 witnesses.
But still,
All I'm saying though is that if you get to a scuffle with a one-armed man, I'm just karate chopping your arm off.
well,
and
the
then-
thing is too, he
now
gets in
we're-
the scuffle with him, and then instead of pursuing him, I guess he goes back to
He goes back
Helen.
to his wife to try to
Yeah.
give her aid.
I don't know.
Either way, you're not winning a whole lot.
But
with
and
only one
then to
arm.
that same point though, if he did have a scuffle with that man, there'd be some hair like fibers, like there'd be some type of transition.
Also, just pointing out,
But it is early 90s.
Sykes is wearing a fucking curly-headed wig,
Right.
and he has very
Well,
short.
I took it as it was his hairstyle at the time, and then 2 years later he cut it.
Maybe.
Maybe. I guess we'll
Because in the
leave
that
up.
pictures with the fishing, he also
has
has
that
the.
longer.
We'll
hair.
leave it up.
Yeah.
We'll leave it up.
Sure.
So obviously we are talking about the police tunnel vision rushed into this decision and ignored other things, other facts and motivations.
Yeah,
Granted, they did
weak.
have some physical things, but
The forensic evidence pointed all towards him.
it's kind of semi-circumstance. I don't know. Some of it is, some of it isn't. It's Richard's lawyer sucked at his job. We already talked about it. You got to get the tape ruled out. It's prejudicial. You send me how many Law and Order episodes? At least argue it. At least, Your Honor, I would stress that this tape is prejudicial to my client and will sway the jury to a point beyond the fact that whatever, at least.
But the reality is that's valid evidence for the case.
It could be.
You couldn't discount it. That's
Some-
what I'm
I mean,
saying.
again, he should have at least
Some-
tried.
sometimes
to
they get
argue it.
away with.
objection,
Sometimes
yeah.
they get away with it. They have a loophole, or
I get
the
that, but I
judge.
think in a murder case, the call to 911 is always part
And
of
then
it.
obviously we talked about Richard jumping off the dam.
Yeah,
Highly
you're
doubt
dead.
he would survive. Even if he did, he's got broken legs, broken arm,
yeah.
broken back, who knows what. And then also, just in general, a couple different times, him surviving the night and them not finding him. And, he's just like
Dude,
sleeping in the leaves
floats
down the
river,
river.
and Samuel Gerard's like, I want a 2-mile radius down the river,
Right.
And it's like, I'm sure he would have
He
gotten
would have
figured
died
out.
from hypothermia.
Also,
That too.
He gets a big old gash, and he's just running. And I'm like, you're a doctor, so you have a better chance of surviving. But you have
He has to run, though.
You have a gash in your side,
But you
and you're
saw,
running.
He did run like this, though.
But
where
I'm
his,
just
like,
saying,
arm
you're
was-
running.
yeah.
You're pumping more blood.
coming out,
You
yeah.
have a higher risk.
You don't
of
got a
bleeding
choice,
out.
though, and you're.
Right.
I understand that. It's just, again, it's another thing where it's like,
I was like,
could be dying at any
I think it's
point.
one of those things where it's like adrenaline, like like mother saves a baby type of thing, where it's
Sure.
like you just
Sure.
go into fight or flight mode, and like it's not impossible, it's unlikely, but and again, it is a movie, so that's all I had.
It's fun though. Great movie.
Did I miss any awards? Did you have
Yeah, I got a couple here. It's not a picky nit necessarily, but like, is this a remake a bunch of times over? Like, did they do a TV show?
It was a
That's what he
TV
said,
show in the
yeah.
60s first, and they remade it into the movie. And they did another TV show in the 90s that did not work.
Okay.
It failed.
And did they do
And then they've done this plot with like other shows, like
Sure.
Prison Break's done it, other things where it's like an innocent guy. 24 does it a lot, where
Yeah.
Jack Bauer's on the run, even though he's the good
Right.
guy, and
Homeland?
which is like why I love these shows, by the way, because
Right.
it's like The
Sure.
Fugitive. It always works, always.
I got you. I am kind of surprised that Kimball has got away in all of these instances. Like when Gerard even's just walking by at the train station set up, like whatever, there are hundreds of people. Like there's people with the train, like cops with the bus and all this stuff. I'm just like, how does anybody get away? Like, how do they not find Copeland right away? And how do they not find all these people right away? Like all of the evidence, how do you not find it right away with hundreds of people looking at it? I already mentioned they don't really give a fuck about Copeland. I
think
would
they do.
argue
They bring
that
a whole team down.
besides the red herring scene, I would say the general stretch of Kimball going away, they could have easily done that scene in like, a minute and a half or something like that. They
Going
could
away to where?
just basically they stretch out the Copeland scene, like there's a Copeland scene, there's Kimball getting in the car, and then they go to the Copeland scene, and then they like the next 10 to 15 minutes after that is like Kimball kind of getting back into Chicago and stuff like that. I think they could have done that in a different way. Maybe something a little bit more lively, or maybe like just showing that he had a little bit more to go on. I just thought it was a little bit dragging for like that 10 to 15, especially as we're thinking there are things that we could have input into there that, either the Julian Moore narrative or something like that, give her a little bit more, give any of those people like a little bit more there.
I see it. You don't necessarily need the Copeland scene, but I like it because it kind of shows what U.S. Marshals is going to be like. And I like seeing his crew, the way they work together. I think it's good for his character, as we said.
I agree.
He doesn't take shit from anybody. Also, it's kind of a fun scene, like Copeland holding a guy at gunpoint. It's not a bad scene, It's not like
the Copeland scene is awesome.
Yeah,
I like that. I just don't like the stuff that kind of comes right after that. That's like again 7 to 10 minutes where I'm just like. You can either cut it down, make it an hour and 48 movie, hour 55 movie, or you can increase it and you can go, hey, we're going to add something else in here, something like that. Don't know how they didn't find him after he slept for 6 hours. What is the time span of this movie? You said 2 years.
I think it's got to be a couple years. Well, the initial crime happens. You got to think about adjudication, courts, and all that. That probably takes like a year or something.
Fair point.
And then so I would say a year and change because then he's on the run for let's say a month maybe or a few weeks.
Okay.
Well, the dude died a year and a half after I think he was incarcerated.
So yeah, he said he died a year ago.
I'd say it's anywhere from a year to 2.
I'd say 2 years.
Over but we don't see that obviously because most of the time. Takes place after he's sentenced
the
to
events of his the action scene. I think where he escapes. So the bus scene where he escapes to the final scene.
That's probably a few weeks.
Yeah, it's got to be I'd say
maybe
month
a month.
It wasn't
to 6 weeks. Probably.
It just wasn't always apparent.
I had one more thing. I just thought of the one Bones whatever happened with that thing with your wife? What do you mean whatever happened?
Right.
You don't pay attention to the papers. I'm on the run right now. You know what happened? She's fucking dead.
That was kind of a dumb question.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Hey janitor, can you wheel this patient down? Over here.
You wouldn't ask a janitor.
It was an emergency situation where there was a ton
bus,
of people came in.
Okay, maybe.
They're looking to the greater good of all you gotta do is wheel him down somewhere. He works for the hospital. Technically,
it seems like a '90s thing where they're like, "Hey, we're just gonna trust this guy." But if you're being honest, I'm not trusting Desmondo. I'm not trusting Krivas Grasnashnane. I'm not trusting any janitor that's like, "Hey." Take this patient in your life, in your hands, rather.
Let's put a button on this thing.
I still got a couple.
Oh, my God.
The signed bullshit signature is fucking phenomenal because that's how he gets away with it is because he literally is just signing some bullshit. And they're like, yep, this is Dr. Smith or whatever.
Well, they have their own type of writing. You realize that doctors, when they write scripts and other things, they use shorthand differently.
Sure. I'm just saying, though, it tracks, though. It's how that gets done. I like that.
Have terrible handwriting.
It's not a picking nit. I like that aspect that they added in there. Shoot him in the foot.
Same thing. I always said it, too. Why do you shoot him in the foot?
Shooting a fugitive, I'm sure Gerard's a great shot.
Also, I would mention, too, Harrison Ford really hurt his leg and had a real limp during the movie, and he kept it for his character's purpose.
So let's talk about that.
Pretty awesome.
Let's talk about that. In some scenes, I totally get it. You're getting off a train, dam, all those things. Totally understand that. When he's running other times, he's a weird runner.
He's got a limp.
No, but I'm saying not within the story. It's like other times where he's just like running from point A to point B, train or whatever. He just always is running kind of like gangly. And I've never noticed it until the 4th or 5th Indiana Jones.
He's not running in perfect form. He's not.
No, it just like kind of looks like he's like moving kind of weirdly.
I get it. It's grudgingly.
It's fine.
I get it.
The fingerprint technology is fucking crazy. Like, you know how they used to do fingerprints?
Dusting.
They put all the dust on and then all that shit. I don't get how all of his colleagues believe him. They're all like, you didn't kill your wife.
That's how good of a dude he is.
He's a benevolent guy.
Yeah,
so they're like, no,
they could never believe that he would do that.
It's just so funny that everybody goes to, they're like, I'll help you,
I
Richard.
do think, though, I agree that maybe there could have been a couple people who'd be like, yeah, I don't fuck with him anymore.
Or like, hey, Richard Kimball is here.
I think it's a good to have a balance of we believe him, we don't.
Sure.
They should have done that
maybe
or at least
one
person who's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that guy's a murderer. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they be able to prove Sykes did it? Like, one-armed guy, like...
He had an alibi, so...
Alibi, forensic
evidence. That's right, okay. Fair point. I just got a couple
tunnel
more.
vision.
When you say a couple piggy nits, I'm seeing like 38 things written down.
Yeah, okay.
That's more than a couple, bitch. That's like
I just put the guy with the accent is always the villain. Any movie, just go to that guy first.
You don't see him in the pictures, do you?
The two older white guys fighting is fucking atrocious.
yes. Thank you.
It's Nichols and
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's
Kimball.
purposeful though, because they're not professional. They're not cops. They're just doctors. So
I
they-
understand
They
that.
wouldn't
Beating
be
the
able
hell
to
out of
fight
each other,
very
yeah.
well.
I'm not saying that
I think
that.
that's great.
It's within the movie, but I'm just saying to look at it as like the final action scene is just like at least I would have liked to see Harrison. If you go like okay, Harrison Ford is a badass and he's just like more of a guy that can seems to know more shit about it, then have him whoop Nichols' ass, and then something else happens and he gets tripped up or something like that. And, like Nichols was fighting back pretty good and like hitting Harrison,
Fair enough, yeah.
Kimball.
And, how did here? Sorry.
No,
how
go
did,
ahead, go ahead.
How did oh my God, Tommy Lee Jones when he is on the roof? How does he not intervene in their fight? It seems like that was
Right.
a slow, put together fight. Like, how do you not close the distance and draw your gun and be like, I'll shoot you both?
Yeah, could
give me a reason.
have got out there.
I don't know. I think at that point they.
I know they fell through. I
Yeah.
get that, but it's just like I thought that he would be on scene by that time.
I think he
That's
also
all.
probably wanted Richard to get some shots in.
Get
You know,
some licks.
He knows what Nichols did.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So you're like, sitting back, let this happen.
Yeah.
a little bit.
and which brings me to my last point.
Okay.
I don't give a shit about a wrongful conviction. The fact that you could prove everything or whatever.
That was a good one.
That you didn't kill your wife. You've been on the run for months or years. You're still a fugitive. You're still like not. It's not like so clean cut, which what it looks like. Like Tommy Lee takes the cuffs off
Well,
his
I
hand.
think the
You're
idea-
going to jail still.
No.
buddy.
I think that he's gonna the evidence that he found, he's gonna present
To the appeals
to
board or
the
something.
appeals board, the ADA, and he's gonna give him his recommendation as an officer of the United States Marshal's Office, which has a big
that-
bearing on things, and
they'll uncover
and
the
they're
evidence.
going to say you had time served for the escape or whatever, but it shouldn't even happen in the first place because you were wrongfully convicted. I think that plus he saved his life
Right.
from Charles Nichols at the end.
I think
And he saved the boy's life in the hospital, and he saved the guard's life, which all those things put together, I think they're going to let him.
I think it makes a lot. It's a very compelling argument. I just look at it as like somebody's got to answer. Like, hey man, you
Charles
were
Nichols
no. But I'm saying like you were a fugitive on the run for years. Like
It was only
they
a
can't.
month.
They can't.
It was like a month.
What?
It was only. Yeah.
It was like a month.
He was only
The
like
bus crashed, then he's on the run for like a month.
I'd say 4 to 6
Oh,
weeks.
that's what I was asking.
Listen,
that
you said,
question.
but the time was
The
like.
overall time
I'm
of the
saying
movie
the
is
court,
2 years.
the court process took like a year, and then
Like from start.
once that happens, after that, like Bobby said, once the bus crash happened, it's like a month, a few weeks.
I thought he was on
I'd
the
give it
run
about
for
4 to
like
5 weeks
for
or
like
something like that.
6 months.
No,
Okay,
no.
Okay, I kind of retract that then.
Okay,
That
yeah.
might be.
Yeah, it's like a
wiped
month,
away.
maybe.
Okay, I'll retract that last.
He,
one.
he was busy trying to put together.
I'd say give or take a month.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Bobby, don't rush me, okay, man? We're only doing The Fugitive once. We're not coming back in 5 years.
I'm just saying, picking it's so big. You could write
Well,
a goddamn.
unfortunately, some movies have a lot of picking.
But this one
okay.
you're giving way too many. That's all
no,
I'm saying.
this one's got a lot.
Oh wow.
dude.
Okay, I'm curious what your rating is now. Sorry, we're not
Who
there.
wants to start?
No, I would. Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay.
You're gonna kill him a little bit. Hold my
Fugitive
hand.
is a known. I think again, it makes its way into the classic.
I'm ready. I'm
Classic,
mentally
well put together movie for sure.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
prepared. Yeah, out with it.
I'm a builder. I'm a builder.
It's gonna hurt.
So with all of the stuff that goes into this, though, because there is a good amount of pickiness. Now I'm going to discount, or I'm going to remove some of the like procedural stuff, like
Well,
fingerprints.
yeah, it's a movie.
Bullshit like that. I'm going to remove that. I still put it at a 9.2.
All right.
Oh,
good,
okay. I
good.
thought you were going deep.
No, at a 9.2. But
Okay.
I think if there was a couple of the other things explained, I could have gone as high as like a 9.7.
Okay.
But it did bring it down just like a
Hey,
half point.
a
for
lot
that.
higher than
Yeah.
what I was thinking.
Absolutely.
So,
Bobby?
this is an own. Incredible cast. Great. Like I said, I wish that they could expand more on Julianne Moore. Like there are obviously things I would have done differently, but overall, you're gonna really enjoy this film. I had this at a 9.5. I probably could click it up, maybe another 1 or 2, but 9.5 solid.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Own it, do it.
Yeah. I already told you guys, third favorite movie. I'm going to go 10, of course. I love it.
Yeah.
I know there's picky nits, and I acknowledge them, obviously.
But it's not
But
changing.
this
how you
movie
feel.
fucking slaps. It still holds up. Fucking the pacing is immaculate. The scenes are all great. The acting's great. It's got a good mix, like you said, of like not a lot of comedy, but what there is in it, it's good. The characters are
zest,
good. The
sure.
writing is good, and this might be like the most rewatchable movie of all time. Where like you could
all
just
time.
like rewatchable, like where you don't get sick of it. You can flip it on any point in the movie, and like I don't know, it just like it holds up. It's got star power. It's got pacing. And I've always loved this movie. So obviously
There
I'm
it
going to
is,
go
10.
10. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, well, that's 129. Movie on deck. This guy, we're going to be seeing the original Toby Maguire. Toby Keith.
Yeah,
It's been a day.
that classic Toby
Keith movie. No.
I ain't what I once
Spider-Man.
was.
But I'm sure, yeah. No, Toby Maguire, Spider-Man.
Fuck yes.
Started off
Sam
the
Raimi.
whole, they say Iron Man, but I think Spider-Man started off.
Spider.
Well,
Set
I will
the-
break it down next week specifically. I have a. I can.
Go ahead, but Spider-Man, the original that we grew up with, we're not doing. We're the other one, the
And
Garfield,
it's on Netflix right now. So, that's
So
good.
there you go.
we will discuss next week, but that is the foray into Marvel
Yes.
because we've
Yes,
already
yes.
kind of opened the door. We opened the door with Star Wars. I'm not saying Marvel, but I'm
we
saying
open door with Batman Forever.
open the door with Batman, open the door with this, open the door with that. So
I'm excited about that one.
it's very
Love this
interesting
one.
that we're opening these doors, but we have to keep peppering in some of these movies,
Mm-hmm.
so we don't want to go like a year and then go like, hey, we're gonna do Spider-Man 2 now.
Hey,
you know,
man, whenever you want to do Rush Hour 2 and Austin Powers, Spy Who Shagged Me, and Aliens, they're all on the docket.
everything.
I'm fine with
We're
that.
starting
All
to get into
those, yeah.
sequels. I
Yep.
love it. All right, the Journeymen Lounge podcast
Appreciate
will
you
ride
guys.
again. 129.
in the books.
Holy shit. Good
All right.
stuff.
Bye.
Peace.